This podcast is brought to you by the Arte Media Pantheon. Please head to artemedia.org to see all kinds of podcasts from our great friends. And if you'd like to start your own podcast, they can provide you with the tools and resources to do so there. So please head to artemedia.org. That's ARETE media.org. Joe, we did it. We nailed it on the first go for once ever. As far as you know, never. We always nail it. This is the Spur of the Moment podcast, everybody. I'm your host. I'm Justin Spurr. And today, and always, and forever, until one of us dies, or we die together, it's the incomparable Jordan, everybody. He's also here. He's quite often here. He's usually there's not been a moment where he's not been here. It's Jordan. He's here. He's doing visual gags that the audio-based audience can't see. But just so you know, he's doing a queen wave. He's doing a queen wave. He's it's the circle of life. It became dangerously close to a gesture we can't do. It became dangerously close to that for like half a frame.
But it was supposed to be like a hidey ho.
I know, but as it transitioned to the queen wave, it became another kind of wave for like half a second, unintentionally, and then it shifted to the hidey ho and it became okay again.
Right. Well, I am here, and that's all that really matters.
That's all that really matters. On today's show, it's finally time to see a brand new day and talk about Spider-Man. Brand new day. Very excited.
Good movie.
Very excited. And then the news. We got the news. We got a Jumanji trailer. They canceled a bunch of Marvel shit. We got other new stuff. Who gives a shit? Because then it's guys who sound like Spider-Man. I mean,
they were in a Spider-Man thing once.
Some of them looked like Spider-Man, but most of them also sound like Spider-Man.
They were in a Spider-Man thing once.
Not all of them look like Spider-Man, but they definitely all sound like him. But I mean, how do we know what Spider-Man looks like? Really? First, though.
I mean, we don't know his secret identity. What are you talking about?
Secret identity.
So let's talk about his secret identity.
Let's talk about his secret identity. Now I want to do a quick comment response, just real quick, because I got some funny stuff on.
Do we have time for that?
We do. I got some funny stuff on. Robin Williams would have been great in Star Wars, and a couple of them made me laugh, and it was funny. One was Robin Williams as Dex. As in Dexter Jester? You know that
Star Wars.
Star Wars episode 2? They got Dexter Jetster, that's what it is. The guy from episode 2 who runs the cafe that the guy tries to sell.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And then someone was like Darth Vader as the Robin Williams as the Emperor. Could you just imagine him, Robin Williams, being like power?
Do it.
Unlimited power. That would be very funny. That would be very funny.
I still say I'd make him one of the droids.
Make him a droid. Make him a Bicentennial Man droid. Make it look like Bicentennial Man droid. That's it. That's
C-3PO. He could be C-3PO.
He could be 3PO. Because that made me laugh. Anyway. On today's show. Spider-Man. Let's do Spider-Man. We're going to do Spider-Man. We're going to talk about Spider-Man. But before we
spoil the shit out of Spider-Man.
Before we dive into Spider-Man, we talk about the actual movie itself. I want to talk about extra things. Number one, I saw critics say that this was only okay. He's wrong.
They're wrong.
I don't know if you experienced this, Jordan, but every once in a while, critics I used to trust say things so dumb and so just objectively incorrect that like that it makes you lose respect for them as a critic. We're like, wow, I no longer trust your opinion. He said that not only was this only okay, he said that the Sam Raimi movies are the best Spider-Man movies. He's objectively incorrect. They're bad Spider-Man movies. I would go so far as to say now, with this in the rearview mirror, that they're bad Spider-Man movies. They're not good Spider-Man movies because
I mean they were always Spider-Man by way of a horror director, and it came across.
Well, no, I just mean not even just that, but I mean let's just dive into. We'll do the non-spoiler version first. Just general thoughts, which is to say, about 30 minutes into this, I went, this is the greatest Spider-Man movie ever made. It is the best Spider-Man movie because
It feels
It
like a comic.
fundamentally understands Spider-Man on such a visceral level. Like early on, I said to Jordan, Tom Holland has played a lot of that Insomniac Spider-Man game, and that
For the
is
better.
that is Spider-Man storytelling at its peak, where it understands that yes, you could have mopey, sad, I'm bummed out about my life, Peter Parker, but the Spider-Man stuff needs to balance it. So the Spider-Man stuff needs, as sad and sappy and annoying your Peter Parker stuff is, your Spider-Man stuff needs to balance that, and this does that in fucking spades, just
Yeah.
in spades. Like not even just like people were like, oh, I saw so many reviews that were like the first 30 minutes were like the only good Spider-Man stuff in there. But I'm like, but no, like there's so many moments in this where it's just him having conversations in the costume. Like you don't understand how, as someone who grew up
That's
on the
most
Raimi
of what
movies,
Spider-Man is.
right, yeah, his unwillingness to take off his mask in front of people, that's Spider-Man. Like the fact that he's hiding behind curtains and like he's having conversations, like he's getting into, no, we won't spoil that yet, but he's getting into situations where he's not wearing anything except for the mask. That's fucking Spider-Man. Like,
Yeah.
bless his absolute heart, Tom Holland committed to wearing the costume 90%. Jordan
It felt
said,
like he wanted to wear the
right,
costume.
like generously on the, Jordan said on the low end, he said 80%. I'd go as high to say this is everything I've ever wanted in a Spider-Man movie. It is predominantly Spider-Man, and it is minimal Peter Parker. He only is Peter Parker when he needs to be, and
When he's forced to
or
be.
when he's forced to be, right? And even by the end, this is a kind of like spoiler. This is the only, other than maybe Homecoming, this is the only Spider-Man movie where him being Spider-Man is never in question. This movie is about him trying to be Spider-Man. It's about him wanting to be Spider-Man. And by the end of it, he's itching to go back to being Spider-Man. Even though he's kind of working on the personal stuff, he still wants to be Spider-Man. You said
he's trying to find balance.
You said it at one point. You were like, what a fucking revelation, a movie where he actually wants to be Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit. Like, yeah.
So, like, as much as I like Far From Home, for example, where it's like in that one, it's not specifically that he doesn't want to be Spider-Man; it's he wants a vacation from being Spider-Man. But that means in terms of a movie, he still doesn't want to be Spider-Man.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Like even if Peter Parker doesn't hate being Spider-Man, in terms of that movie, in that movie, he's trying to not be Spider-Man. Right?
And I think that's why, I mean, they've taken away the face shield that Spider-Man masks always get in these movies that I fucking hate. They've gotten rid of it because you can totally see Tom Holland. Tom Holland clearly, somebody saw Deadpool and went, holy shit, we can face act in the mask. And he is doing that. Like, there's so much emotion and performance in the mask where you're like, that's Spider-Man. I just cannot stress enough how much Spider-Man gets to be a character in this for once. Like, he gets to experience this without having to have his mask blown away or taken off or shredded. Like, I love the fact that his mask doesn't get torn off in the climax. Like, that's awesome.
This movie really did make me feel like half and half. I both felt like I was kind of watching a cutscene from the Insomniac one, because you're right, clearly he got a lot from that. Mm-hmm. But like also as I'm watching some of this, it's like the way that he's emoting in the suit reminds me of the 90s show, the 90s cartoon.
This was it's part Insomnia game, and you're right, it absolutely is part animated series. It absolutely, his relationship with the lady cop, is from that show. Like, yeah,
I mean, she's probably from the comics originally.
I'm sure she is, but still, like, yeah, I really enjoyed that. Like, yeah, he can be connected without him having to have his own small fucking CW style cast of characters that surround him. Like, there is a balance you can find where, yeah, you maintain the solidity or solid
isolation.
Yeah, isolation of these characters, because like they build too much community in these movies because they need someone to talk to, and it's like I saw people who were like, oh yeah, no man, who's supposed to be stripped down to nothing, but he still has like fucking tech in his suit or whatever. I'm like, yeah, but that doesn't bother me because teched up Spider-Man has been made to work. in Insomniac Spider-Man, and that's where this is taking from. Where no, yeah, Peter's smart. He's smart. He absolutely could rig tech from his classes that he's taking or whatever. Like, it's
No, not
fully
even just
believable.
that, but like in the instance of this, because I don't think he's in classes in this. He's just straight doing
Is he not?
this.
I thought that he was.
I thought no, I thought the implication was that
Because didn't they
maybe
show?
this is maybe spoiler territory. But my understanding was that it showed that his two friends go off to school, but he doesn't.
Okay, man, maybe yeah, maybe because I
And he's
remember
like that's why he's like watching them from afar, and
because
like
at the end of the last
the
one,
movie is really emphasizing they have all these memories and he's not a part of them.
because at the end of the last one, he has a bunch of books that looks like oh, was that just to
I
graduate high
think
school?
that's supposed
Maybe?
to be like I think that's supposed to be him getting his GED because he can't go back to school and finish,
Right.
or not GED, but like finishing from
Finishing
afar or
high school or
whatever.
whatever. Yeah, yeah, maybe. Yeah. Um.
Just
Yeah.
Peter Parker at that point no longer
There's
exists,
so
so he
much to
can't go.
okay. There's so much to love about this movie, just without spoiling it. It's fucking beautiful. All the it's one of those movies where again when I was watching it, I'm like, I'm gonna need to watch this at least 2 more times to appreciate every frame of it.
Every little detail.
It's some of the best Spider-Man shit you've ever seen. Let
I mean, just
Daniel
the
Destin
choreography.
make whatever the fuck he wants from here to the end of fucking time. Like, let him make at least one more Spider-Man movie. If he wants to make an Avengers movie, fucking let him. Like, his action sequences are so easy to follow. They're so nice.
They're tight.
They're tight. Like, yeah, it's exactly like I thought when I saw Shang-Chi. I was like, his Spider-Man shit is going to be good. And we're going to talk about the spoiler Spider-Man shit that a lot of it's in the trailers, but the context of it has been fucked with in the trailers. That's what I will say. The marketing of this has been kind of bold. It's a little irritating, like in the sense that, well, we're going to talk about who Sadie Sink is, but the marketing of, ooh, she's someone important. Oop, who could she be? Oop, yeah, you're never gonna guess who's a famous redhead in the Marvel Universe. And you're like, okay. And so then you see like people posting spoilers, but you're like, oh, but like some of this stuff is really outlandish. And like, if you saw leaks, 90% of them didn't happen. Like I read a few of them. Like there's been a few, like the entire plot of Brand New Day leaked and this is what it is, and we'll talk about it once we talk about the spoilers. But none of it happened. And so I saw a lot of big spoilers that I was like, oh, that's clearly still just people guessing. Like, it's clearly fake. So I was still a little bit like, it was kind of a reverse situation where I was like, I was so sure it wasn't gonna be that I was actually kind of surprised by it. That. And this is gonna be, we need to put a moratorium on dumb fucking influencer press interviews where they ask other people who aren't in the movie stupid spoiler questions that they know they can't fucking answer, and just like out and out spoil the fucking movie. Like, it was obnoxious. Like, I scrolled past it, it was this guy being like, blah 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 blah, Andrew Garfield, big spoiler. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, dude, stop. Like,
I just don't watch
like,
stuff like that.
give it the weekend, man. Like, that's my request. Like my
I mean,
request
the
is
standard Hollywood rate is you give it a week.
you give it a week.
That's the like what you're supposed to do. A lot of these movies, in the past when they've been like, it's been like at least the spoiler weekend. You don't do the spoilers weekend.
Yeah, the weekend. Like
that's
I'm like,
the
okay,
bare
a week.
minimum.
A week feels like I'm being a tad like, okay, I get it, fine, whatever. I would prefer a week, but I understand if you can't, if you're enthusiastic.
Certainly
but
the weekend.
The weekend feels fair. Yeah, the weekend feels fair. Wait till
Certainly
Monday.
the time leading up to the weekend.
Right? Like, don't go out Thursday night and then fucking go on. That's fucking obnoxious. Like, we used to have decorum about this shit. Like, it got to the point where people overcorrected and were like, who gives a shit? But like it's a kind of a metaphor. But like, when it comes to the water cooler, like, we were always cool about it. We always gave it to like the next Thursday. We're like, if you haven't seen this shit by Thursday, I'm sorry, you're on your fucking own. But at least give it to the Thursday. Don't do it as part of the press junket. What the fuck is wrong with you? Anyway, yeah. I'm spicy about that. I was really pissed that I knew that. Like, I did such a great job avoiding all of the spoilers on this. And like, fuck, that's annoying. Okay. This is the spoiler warning. The wow, 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 wow. Jake always watches our videos. Jake, this is the moment where pause it now, Jake, and we will continue. Me and you, Jake, will continue the spoiler version of this conversation on Wednesday when I do the Average Intelligence podcast. I can't do Haley. I have the Average Intelligence podcast.
That sounded weird.
I can't do Haley's podcast. She asked me if I... Anyway, not important. I'm thinking a lot. Anyway, so Jake, if you're watching this, end it now. That's it. That's the end of the non-spoilers. And for everyone else...
Skip ahead like 30 to 40 minutes.
Right, exactly. We're gonna be getting to the meat and potatoes of this like a lot. Because there's so much meat and so much potatoes to get into. Okay. I don't know which character whom I didn't like in this do I go for the most? The really, really big spoiler or the one that's in the marketing that shouldn't have been in the marketing? Let's do the one.
I don't like that they brought back Ned and MJ.
I don't like that they brought back Ned and MJ. I'm never gonna like this. This is the best version of what that's gonna be.
Yeah, exactly.
There were moments in this where
if you had to do it, then this is how you would do it. But
like there are moments in this when I groaned. I went, ugh. But there are moments where I went, no, yeah, I like this. I like this direction. Look, if she must be in this franchise, they need to re-earn this. They broke this. They need to re-earn this. I'm not against that as a plot device for keeping them in there. I don't like how Ned just knows, but I did see someone make the case that Ned knows because he's magic. So maybe he's a little resistant to the magic.
Okay.
And I'm
okay.
like, okay,
yeah, maybe.
okay, I can get behind that. I can accept that.
That's one that I could maybe get.
I can get behind that. I did like that. Yeah, the MJ is like, I don't know you, so the magic worked. I don't know you. I'm sorry. And there's so much fucking just good cinematography in this. Like it's just good acting and good cinematography.
Fall in love again and actually have it feel natural this time.
Right? Like but like the when she's saying it, when she's basically doing this small monologue and it has the hold on his face as he's just like everything he's been building up in his head is just decimating is so good. Like the Peter because the Spider-Man shit is
every anxiety that he's had as to why he hasn't told her
right is instantly validated.
Validated and confirmed.
Good shit. Good shit from Tom Holland. Some of the best shit from Tom Holland, and I think I've seen at this point all of his movies, and like it is like just the hold on his face as he is heartbroken so good, and like he doesn't take off the mask for like 90% of this movie. So the moments when he does, like when he's fighting, you see it in the trailers, the bit where he's fighting the hand, which like don't get excited about the hand, but still get excited about the hand because like there's a lot of the best scenes involve them, but they're not involved in the plot. So if you're expecting Daredevil, don't.
No.
But like that sequence when he finally takes off his mask, right, and he's fighting the maskless, that's so earned. It's earned and it works, and it doesn't feel like, oh, Tom Holland needs to have his face seen in the climax, so he gets the mask conveniently blown away. So oh shit, there's Tom Holland, and it comes out of nowhere in every fucking Tobey Maguire movie.
He takes it off because he knows that he's fighting Jean Grey.
Right, she knows who he is. Exactly, exactly.
So,
and it's earned, and you're like, okay, Tom Holland, yeah, you've spent 7 weeks wearing that fucking mask. It must stink like sweat. You can take it off. I will allow it. I will allow it here. It's working for me. Like all of I saw so many people.
It's minor,
right? There's so much of this that like it should feel like it's too much, but it's not. Like yes, there's a bunch of characters in here, and yes, they come in and out of the plot intermediately, but they're like pepper or salt or like garlic.
Yeah,
like they're like spices.
Like Scorpion.
Yes. The movie never pulls away to have an extra normally long scene about Scorpion and Mary Jane having lunch.
He's just one of Spider-Man's roles.
He's just one of Spider-Man's bad guys, and he's just there, and Spider-Man beats him in 2 scenes, and that's enough, and that's fine. And that's what I've always said these movies needed. I'm getting so passionate, my arm rest isn't staying up. That's what I've always said these movies needed to be. Incrementally small appearances from minor characters. Yes, it doesn't always, not every character needs to have an arc. Sometimes they could just pop in for a scene. Like, that's what makes this movie so brilliant. They can be part of
the montage.
Right, someone's like, oh, we need to do away with the opening of movie, there's been 5 years montage. And I don't necessarily disagree with that. Do I hate that a lot of the more significant Spider-Man shit happened off screen? yes, I hate it. I hated it in Fantastic Four. But like this one was good and the shots were beautiful. So like it's hard.
Yeah, they show us enough during that montage where we
Yeah.
can kind of fill in some of the blanks.
I'm excited to watch it on a screen that isn't our shitty Abbotsford screens because like there was a couple of the shots where I'm like, oh,
It
this
seemed
look.
really dark.
It did seem really dark. There was a lot of moments where I was like, this was so much brighter on my screen at home. So I'm like, that tells me that there's something with this screen that's
Yeah.
it's not the movie. I don't
Plus,
want to hold it
just
against the movie.
there's a lot of theater etiquette things which were driving me crazy
my
too.
God. It was one of
But
those moments where it's like I couldn't decide what I hated more: not stopping talking or kicking me in the back of my chair.
or the opening of what was clearly like a pants pocket or something, and there was the kid directly behind me kept like lifting lower and lifting lower.
Stop
and
it!
Velcro noise, Velcro noise, Velcro noise, Velcro noise, and I'm like, oh, for the love of God, stop it! And I muttered that, and maybe I'm like, hopefully he heard me because he stopped it.
I love the Punisher. Punisher's fucking
Oh, he's
great.
so good.
He's so good. It's probably the only thing I've ever liked. John, I'm sorry. No, that's not fair. No, that's not fair. I really like season 2 of Daredevil, but I really liked it and still continue to like it. It's the only reason why I continue to tolerate him as the Punisher.
I think the reason why I like him as the Punisher more in this than I did, because I seem to remember watching some of that.
We tried the series and it was brutal.
Yeah.
It was brutal. It was so boring.
But I think the reason why it works, why he works better here for me is because much like how Batman needs a light character to balance him. Punisher needs a Spider-Man. He works well when he has a Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And
this
it was with this version of him anyway.
Yeah, like you really. It's just again a good performance from John Barenthal. I totally mispronounced his last name. When he accidentally spoiler alert, big spoiler. But when he accidentally shoots Spider-Man at the end, you're like, yeah, this is a sad moment that kind of comes out of nowhere. You're like, it's a powerful moment though. Like when they're together in their room and like he knows what he looks like. He's like, yeah, it doesn't really matter. Like him in the hospital room, like, yeah, it's so fucking good. I was like, that's great, and it's a moment. The drama and the levity is so well balanced in this. It's so well balanced.
I agree.
It's really good. Okay,
and I mean, there's a lot of scenes of him just swinging through the city.
That is
where I'm like,
great.
that's just great. It just feels like Spider-Man.
Fuck you, John Watts.
When he's again spoilers, but when he's got the organic webbing and like he has to like do the launch. He has to think about how to do it. Where he's like, swing, swing,
yeah. I can't stand organic webbing, but I don't mind its inclusion in this because it is awkward. It is an awkward. Like it is. I joke.
It's supposed to be an illusion.
I joked to myself when he walks in and there's just the webs and everyone's like, hey, we've all been through that when we hit puberty. Going through spider puberty, Jordan. Okay.
It just makes me interested because for Secret Wars there's a reason why they did the organic webbing, and that's definitely because Tobey Maguire is coming back. They can have a scene. They can have a scene where Tom Holland Peter can be like, hey, I have organic webbing now too. But I have to think about it, unlike you.
Yeah, well, I'm sure by that
point,
some
callback line.
I'm sure by that point he'll have worked it out, and he no longer has to think about it. But he would have been like, that was weird that we both have the same. But no, it's definitely. We'll talk about the post-credit scene in a bit, but it's definitely Tobey Maguire. I saw some really dumb people who make some really dumb observations that we're going to talk about. Shit I did not like. Look, it's not perfect. I mean, it's pretty close to perfect. It's a 9.5, certainly, out of 10.
These feel, for me, any of the complaints I have feel more like nitpicks.
They're well, sort of. There aren't nitpicks. They are legit problems with it, but they lead to stuff that's so cool that I'm willing to overlook it. So it ends up being minor because anyway. Hulk's inclusion of this number one should not have been given away in the marketing. That's an absolute waste.
No.
It would have been a absolute sick twist had they not put him in any of the marketing. It's weird because he's not doing any promo either. There's no interviews up with him, so there's rumors that he's been fired from Marvel because of his political opinions, but who knows. There's no explanation given for why he's not Smart Hulk, because I saw some people do some weird. It's very funny because all of the people who like shat on She-Hulk are now all being like, bro, you just need to watch She-Hulk, and it's really fucking funny. Because if you watch She-Hulk, you would know that he was a human, then he got the thing so he can heal his arm, and then he turned back into Smart Hulk. And yeah, but then he turned back into Smart Hulk, and then for the rest of that show, he stayed Smart Hulk. There was no, like, him turning back and forth. I guess the implication is supposed to be that with that, he can She-Hulk and turn into Smart Hulk whenever he wants, because, and the marketing, very smartly, does not give this away. When she mind controls him, and like you see in the trailer, she mind controls him and he turns into the Hulk, there's an in-between where he's Smart Hulk and he's going after Peter as Smart Hulk, so it implies that he can turn into Smart Hulk, but it's not saying why. So my question is, does that mean that this is supposed to say that She-Hulk isn't canon and this is still when he was healing or whatever, maybe from the
I mean, or
thing?
conversely, it's just that he can turn into Smart Hulk, and if there's ever trouble, presumably he would be, but in his day-to-day life, he prefers to live as Banner.
Maybe, yeah, I don't know.
That's how I interpret it.
But that would contradict. This is the problem with these people not communicating with each other, because that would contradict his his attitude towards Smart Hulk in Endgame, where he's just Smart Hulk. I think honestly, I
mean, years pass, opinions change.
I think it's one of those. It's an easy fix. You just have it where he makes reference to how the president turned into a big red Hulk, and so now people are uncomfortable with Hulks. That's why he has it. That's why he's not the Hulk. That's just a simple line.
I mean, yeah, that would be a simple one.
And it's such a small
even
nitpick.
If they don't even want to reference that, they can you just have a line where he's like, in class, like he's doing the whole story or whatever.
Yeah, you could be like,
you could have him be like, I used to stay as Smart Hulk, but it freaked everybody out, so I just turned or some line,
or like you guys
that.
Don't take me seriously when I Hulk out, or something
or
like that.
Or like I'm not, or like I couldn't fit through the doors.
Because otherwise, every other appearance of Smart Hulk, like his appearance in She-Hulk, is to facilitate him turning back into Smart Hulk. Like he wants to turn back into Smart Hulk. So that's my, and again, it is a major gripe, like universally for the universe at large, but it's a minor gripe in the movie because it leads to him fighting Spider-Man, which is a fantastic scene.
And now we have in universe a reason for why they're no longer Smart Hulk.
Yeah, they've
officially
they've killed Smart Hulk, which I'm all for. I think he overstayed his
welcome. Did not like him as that, and it's way more interesting.
I didn't mind
when
him
he's not in control.
If they had given him a reason to turn to Smart Hulk, if they kept that deleted scene in and like maybe massaged it a bit to be a bit less clunky.
Sure, but the thing that he got it unearned, and it was off screen.
Right. So like, if I think it was one appearance too many. I didn't mind it in Endgame because I'm like, okay, yeah, I can kind of get behind this, but by like the third appearance of it, I'm like, oh, this is just so you don't have to have Mark Ruffalo on set. Like it gets to be a bit. See, I am glad to see, and his reintroduction, he's fucking pissed. I also love how they did the Hulk is the one of the ones who knows that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. I like that they've kept that. That's great. That's awesome. I would not expect to see Mark Ruffalo. Hulk is definitely going to be in either the Avengers Doomsday or Secret Wars. I would not expect to see Mark Ruffalo. It'll be voiceover, and it'll be talkie Hulk. I guarantee you. I would not be surprised.
I don't even know if I would say, like, if by talkie you mean like what we had in Ragnarok.
Yes, but like slightly more intelligible. Like
I could see that.
The version of him
closer
that's like
to the cartoon one.
Yes, yeah, not quite that, but a bit closer to that. Yeah. Where it's the Hulk. He's the Hulk now. Like that's what I think is going to happen. I think Banner will go bye-bye, and I do think Mark Ruffalo will come back in like voiceover form, but I think this is probably going to be his like last appearance in person. I would not be surprised, but who knows? The other big spoiler. I don't really care for Jean Grey in this. I don't know enough about Jean Grey to be off-put by it. I have seen response on the internet suggest that people who are fans of Jean Grey are off-put by it, which is exactly what I felt when I was watching it. I was like, this feels wrong. Like she could be.
It feels like. Sorry, go ahead.
But well, I was gonna. There's a but. I feel like she could be anyone. Like you could literally call her you could call her Sarah. Oh no, Sarah's a bad. But you could call her anything. You could give her any name, and it wouldn't make a difference. Like there's nothing that. But I saw someone say that is a good thing because the characters in the like we know she's Jean Grey, big deal. She becomes big deal, but the movie doesn't know that, and the characters in the movie know that. So why would they give a shit that she's Jean Grey if Jean Grey is nobody? And I'm like, that's a good point. Like, yeah, Jean Grey isn't Jean Grey yet. She is just nobody. But I don't know if the concept of Jean Grey being an orphan and being pissed off and all that shit. I don't know if that's a thing. If you've seen,
yeah, I'm not. I don't know.
Dark Phoenix, right?
My interpretation of it was kind of more like, so like, you know, in terms of comics, you know how like there was the Amazing Spider-Man and then Ultimate Spider-Man came out, and it was like this weird younger version at the time when it first came out. It was like this weird younger version, and it was like different, and it felt weird, and people were kind of put off by it.
Yeah.
To me, this feels like the Jean Grey equivalent of that, where we all know her as like at youngest like 18 or whatever from the Uncanny X-Men. Or whatever, the one where it's Kitty Pryde and all that. But anyway, we either get like that. That's the upperclassman version of her, is the youngest that I think we've ever gotten. So this to me is like we've got the ultimate version now. This is the ultimate version of Jean Grey, where she's like younger and like not like
I know that.
Does that make sense?
It does. Well, I know that in.
That's my headcanon, I guess I should say.
In the Fox movies, they did a thing where like she killed her parents. So I don't know if that's a thing that comes from the comics. I don't know enough about Jean Grey.
No, but I'm just talking about like in the fact that like she's supposed to be younger than Peter. Like she's supposed to be like probably what, 17?
Something like that, yeah.
So like, yeah, I guess technically we have had a version where she's that young.
Yeah, definitely.
The Uncanny X-Men.
Yeah.
Uncanny X-Men?
No, you're thinking of X-Men Evolution.
That's the one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those movies where like
I just don't know that I would have cast it.
Hey, Spider-Man, those guys that you think are the good guys, they actually kidnapped my sister. So the thing I'm looking for is my sister. And Spider-Man would have gone like, oh, okay. Sure, I believe you. Like, it's just one of those, like, if she maybe play Spider-Man. This is what's going down. Apparently, there have been multiple projects where it turns out that, and I will say that did get me. Not that it got me. Like, the guy who's just way too helpful was very obviously the bad guy. But like, I haven't seen the project.
I mean, damage control. It's in the name.
Yeah,
like,
right.
You know, I really.
But this is apparently
you could see how he would
third project where it turns out that damage control are the bad guys. Apparently, also in Wonder Man, and there's one of the I guess Miss Marvel as well. You find out that they're the bad. But yeah, there's a lot of characters. Like
it's exactly a shocking story beat.
Right.
Government agency goes wildly out of control. Who could see that coming?
If I'm Tom Holland, now that I've established his version as a character,
especially in these days.
But then again, maybe if it wasn't him in the suit, it wouldn't be as effective. But like, yeah, I would have that character show up so many times in so many different things, and I would have that
Jean Grey.
No, Tom Holland Spider-Man. I know I said that before, but now that he's firmly established himself as a guy who doesn't take off his mask, have him show up in random shit. Like,
yeah, you could, and you could just have Tom Holland voice it over.
Yeah, get Tom Holland on a voiceover booth and have him voice him over. Like, just
or even
needs
a
to show
halfway
up
decent sound alike.
So much more. Like, you guys have put yourself in this brilliant position.
Well, especially because you've put him in a position where, like, in terms of where we are in the canon, New York loves him.
Right, exactly.
Like, so, like, even if he doesn't show up, you gotta have, like, there's a vendor who sells Spider-Man merch.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like you see just a person in the background walking down wearing a Spider-Man shirt. Like, just little things like that to make him feel like he exists in New York.
But it's one of those, like, hey, Jean Grey, you think perhaps that the reason why Spider-Man keeps opposing your very noble desire to rescue, your very noble and ultimately correct desire to rescue your sister, you think if you stopped acting weird and sinister, perhaps he would, I don't know, think about helping you? Maybe, I don't.
I mean, yeah, well, you know, you try and blackmail the guy. I mean, I guess maybe that you could argue the way that she's looking at it is like, a government agency kidnapped her sister. She can't trust the person that's being like
I
given
guess.
the key
I
to
don't
the
know.
city by the mayor, who is probably in on it all.
I guess,
Like
yeah.
she's supposed to be, I guess, like a paranoid 17-year-old,
I
right?
suppose. I
16-year-old,
suppose.
however old she's supposed to be.
I guess. I don't know. I don't know. It's just it's one of those plots where like, Spider-Man would be the guy who would be distrusting of authority enough to help you. I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah, but she doesn't know that.
I like the fact that he still has a link to the Avengers. That's funny.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
she's like, "You are
Because
small
he's
potatoes."
you
And I
are
was
small
like,
potatoes.
as that very much felt and it's weird because like I get a giggle every time Yelena shows up, but the audience just doesn't. Because I'm like, this is a real funny parallel to when he had the relationship with Iron Man, and it's a different relationship. It's less of a fatherly one and more of like a brother-sister one, and I really dig that. And their interactions being awkward is very funny, and him not wanting to take off his mask in the bath is hilarious. Like,
Yeah.
that's funny. That's good shit.
And very Spider-Man.
Right? There's a deleted scene that was in a couple of the trailers that's not in this, where he.
I
goes
actually
to,
saw it more though, like it's instead of you compared him or her to Tony Stark, I see it more as like maybe this is just because I just watched Far From Home, but like this is him dealing with a new Nick Fury.
I only said Tony Stark because she's in the Avengers, not
Right.
So,
I
like,
get that, but it's the spy stuff for me, which makes me go like Nick Fury.
So it's like he's the one. He's the one who. It's basically like this movie's equivalent of being like, you need to stay a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. And I just the parallel between that and I'm more meant in terms of her function in Spider-Man.
No, I get you. I thought I didn't throw that in.
But that's a good point too. Yeah, she does. She is very much like a Nick Fury. What else? What else is in touch? Scorpion's great.
It does the world building so well.
Fucking great. Yeah, it's paced really. It does feel the end feels a little long, where it reiterates its point like at least 3 times, and you're like, I get it. He's forlorn. I understand it. Okay, let's wrap this up. It's been 2.5 hours. Let's get to it. So like it could probably stand to be 10, 15 minutes shorter. But the funny bit is so post credit, the final big spoiler is there's a Spider-Man and the spider tracker. There's a spider that is there. Ned has a spider tracker that tracks Spider-Man, and it pops up in the end. And in a bit that has clearly been done very recently, it blimps and says there's a Spider-Man in another universe.
Out in space.
It's going to another universe, and people are like, oh, that shows that Tom Holland's been transported to another universe. And I'm like, no, it's Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, because and that's probably because I do this, but it's Tobey Maguire Spider-Man because he was spotted filming Avengers Doomsday in London when they were filming it, and he was spotted in one of those CGI get-ups. So but
to be fair, let's look at this from the perspective of someone who doesn't follow all that news. Like, I didn't know that. I'm smart enough and I watch enough movies to have guessed that if not Tobey Maguire, then Andrew Garfield.
So that guy's like the interview question I mentioned earlier.
Or certainly a Spider-Man that's not Tom Holland is the point.
That he's like, oh, Andrew Garfield, are you going to be in Avengers Doomsday? And Andrew Garfield like rolls his eyes and starts to sigh and goes, I'm sorry, it's just the post credit scene. I'm like, fuck, and I zipped away as quick as I was like, fuck you. Like, why?
No,
why did you do that?
Not cool.
That's uncool. We're deep into spoiler territory, so it's cool for us to do that. It's not cool for you to do that Thursday. The movie comes out. Like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, I like this movie, and I will definitely be watching it again.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, there's also the Jean Grey thing. I kept seeing people say, oh, it's Jean Grey. Oh, they're setting up the X-Men. Oh, Kevin Feige sneaks in an X-Men. And I just assumed because it was people still speculating, so I didn't think that it was gonna be her because I was so sure it wasn't.
I mean, you know why she's in this movie, right? She's in this movie so that we have our MCU version of her, so that when we have, because we've already seen that there's the accurate like costume version of
for sure. She's gonna be in Doomsday for sure.
So she's gonna be in Doomsday, but she's gonna be
sure.
played by the one from the other universe or whatever.
No, she says she's not in it.
It's supposed to be, so there's gonna be like a disconnect between the one from our universe where there's clearly our universe, our MCU universe.
Yeah.
Clearly doesn't have a Professor X, which is why she's ended up the way she is. which is supposed to create the clear contrast between her
I think
and the
there
one that
is.
does have a Professor
I think
X.
there is a Professor X. I just think he's earlier in his timeline than the other Professor X's. But I do think there will end up being, because they are doing, there is an X-Men movie, and it's going to be directed by the guy who made Thunderbolts. So it is coming.
Oh, interesting.
It's coming. Yeah, we talked about it shortly after that movie came out. So I presume she's going to be in it. But yeah, no, the lady who plays.
She essentially feels like she's supposed to be Rogue from the original
the
movies.
lady who plays Jean Grey in the original X-Men movies is reportedly not in Doomsday or Secret War. So if she's not, then they might do a thing where she died in their universe, and like this Sadie Sink's version is the one that's like, we can't kill each other, and they're the reason why they get along, if I had to guess. Because they're supposedly doing an Avengers versus X-Men
Or
thing,
they just have a completely different actress playing with Jean Grey.
Maybe it's a multiverse thing. It's certainly possible. It's So the reason why you should never trust leaks, that you read on the internet at all. The fact that she was Jean Grey did leak quite a number of months ago when we never talked about it, and I chose not to address it at all or bring it up because I hate shit like that. But as part of that leak, it said that the bad guy wasn't Jean Grey, that the bad guy was going to be Miles Warren, the guy who does the Clone Saga, and that he was the one doing the mind whammying, and it has something to do with a mind-controlled blood poison, and Peter Parker gets that blood poison. That's why he winds up with the advanced mutations, and that blood poisoning is going to kill him. And in that leak, the movie ended with Tom Holland's Spider-Man like saying goodbye to everyone and then going to accept his own death and then dying. And then I went, there's no way this is real, because these movies make $1 bajillion, which this one is tracking to make $1 billion. There's no way they're gonna kill Tom Holland permanently, and they just did the we killed him temporarily thing, so they're not gonna do that fake out again. So there's no way this is real. And then there was a couple of variations on that. There was one variation where he was gonna beat the bad thing at the end, and he was gonna get teleported to Battle World, and that's how it was gonna end. There was all sorts of like leaked scripts that said that Doom was gonna show up at the end, and he was gonna trick Peter. And so, like, all I'm saying is, when you read something, be wary of it. Trust us, is what I'm saying, because we will discern whether or not it's real or not. And we will say the real version of the thing here on the show. Trust us.
Trust us.
Trust us. This is the greatest Spider-Man movie put to film. Flat out.
Yeah, the only
down.
other small
Hands
nitpick
down.
that I have is in the part where Peter is at the party and he meets Ned and MJ again. And they don't know who he is, and he like gives his fake name or whatever. I think it's a missed opportunity. He should have said, "I'm Ben Riley."
That would have been funny. That would have been funny. I would going forward. I know that everyone
it's a very
wants
small nitpick, but
everyone wants
I think
Ned to be. Going forward, I know that everyone wants Ned Leeds to be the Hobgoblin, because Ned Leeds inevitably becomes the Hobgoblin, and the guy who plays him keeps going like maybe, which tells me he's discussed it.
I can see how they would do it now.
Yeah. But
at this point, where like he doesn't remember Peter, like you have it be where like he kind of remembers him, but he doesn't really remember him, and so like his life experiences without Peter have made him different, and so that's what pushes him to.
Yeah, maybe, except for this movie makes the argument so hard that he's more or less the same. But anyway, no, what I want instead is I want the boyfriend to be the Hobgoblin, or the Green Goblin, just a goblin in an actual like comic accurate mask. Preferably the Hobgoblin. I kind of like them to do the Hobgoblin first and then do the Green Goblin, but I like him to be the Hobgoblin in reference to the animated series where Felicia's Hardy's boyfriend was the Hobgoblin. I think that'd be a fun reference.
The rich snob.
Yeah, I just think that'd be a fun reference. Anyway, yes, this is the best Spider-Man movie. Like, there's just none of them even come close to this. It's, again, best Spider-Man movie. Maybe, hey, if you want to say, come at me, Movie Bob, you are wrong. You are objectively incorrect. You have this weird bias towards the Raimi Spider-Man movies. They are objectively the worst Spider-Man movies. If you want to come at me and debate me and say they're better movies, I'd love to hear your argument. But In terms of Spider-Man movies, Spider-Man is not a character in those movies. He never gets to be a character. He's a character in this. This is an infinitely
He's an
better
extension of Peter.
Spider-Man movie. It's a better representation of what Spider-Man is. It is a better representation of picking up a Spider-Man comic, the best I've ever seen put to film, ever. Like, by a cavernous margin. Like, it is crazy. Like, there were so many moments where my mind was like, I've read this. I've played this. Like, it's everything I've ever wanted.
Yeah, it feels like putting on an episode of the '90s cartoon and just watching an episode.
Yes, with
but
maybe
extended.
a little, and like it never again. The stakes never rise any higher, and it's like yes, Spider-Man stories can be relatively low stakes, but still be weird. And this is a perfect Spider-Man story.
Yeah, this is like a city level threat.
Characters
this isn't like
pop in and out intermediately in the plot. They're minor characters in a way that is functional but not overtaking.
To use Yelena's own words, this is small potatoes.
This is small potatoes, and it feels sufficiently such.
And it's good,
right? But the stakes are high for Peter. And that's what makes it. But again, it balances because the spectacle of the Spider-Man stuff matches the dull drudgery of the Peter stuff in a way that fucking works. I could gush about this movie for hours, Jordan. I could gush, and I will this Wednesday. Maybe, probably. We'll see. Jake's a busy guy. Sometimes he cancels last minute. But assuming Jake doesn't cancel last minute, I will be gushing some more on Wednesday about how much I love this movie. I will be interested to see what Jake thinks. Because he has not been a lover. I've been a lover since Homecoming of the Tom Holland movies. I have been a lover. And I continue to be. I just don't think... I think he as an actor understands that character more than any of them. I will be interested to see what he has to say on Wednesday. Tune in. Probably Wednesday. On the Average Intelligence Podcast. Be there. Or be square. The news, Jordan. The news. That was fun, Jordan. That was fun.
I agree.
Oh, apparently I have not been. That sucks. Oh well. Joe, we're flying blind today because I apparently didn't start the timer at the top of the show. So,
in 48:04.
48 minutes of Spider-Man? Nice. Excellent. And we didn't argue once. Jordan. Because there is no argument.
There's nothing there. There's nothing to argue about.
It's objectively sorry. We can't gush for longer about that movie, Jordan. We can't turn it into its own podcast.
We can push it into an hour.
Anyway, the news. Jordan, apparently Amazon is doing a animated movie spin-off centered around the classic character of the Mad Hatter in his own story. Don't ask me if it's connected to the Disney one. It doesn't look like it is. It looks like it's its own thing. I don't really. Okay, Jordan.
I don't know. There's nothing. I have nothing to say about that.
Okay.
I have no feelings about that.
I just... Okay. It says, the plot details remain under wraps, but the project officially puts the iconic character at the center of his own story. Woo? I guess.
Who cares?
Who cares, Jordan?
Who cares?
Who cares? Who cares? It's Alice in Wonderland. I'm sure there's Alice in Wonderland fans out there who care. Jordan, they exist, I'm sure. They have to exist, right?
It's a live. You said it was animated.
I know. I said there have to be fans of Alice in Wonderland out there.
No. I'm in my brain. I was like, did he say it was animated or live action?
Yeah, animated.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends. With me, when it comes to animation, I will look past a great deal if it's pretty. Like many things in this life, Jordan. If the thing is pretty, I will look past a great many flaws.
I'm just like, I'm not even thinking of that. I'm just like, story. What do you do for the story?
I love how you just like completely didn't acknowledge that.
What? You'll be able to look past a thing if it's pretty.
If something's pretty, you look past something's many, many flaws.
Okay. Oh. I'm not pretty. I don't know what you're trying. I don't.
All right then, Jordan. Let's move on. Let's move on. I've made this weird. Jordan, I
Yeah.
definitely sent you the trailer for Air
Okay.
Bud Returns, right?
Yeah, you did. I don't. I don't really. I
It
don't.
just
So
looks like
okay.
it just looks
Um.
like the first one, except for one of the kids is in a wheelchair, and they're clearly gonna do a bit where they're like, "You can't, you." And this is not me. I couldn't think of a way to say this, make this point without it coming across as ableist, and I just don't think that I'm gonna. But keep in mind, this is the basketball association that existed in the movie that's saying this, not me, Justin Spurr. That is the disclaimer. But clearly, an element of this movie is gonna be you can't play wheelchair basketball with the rest of the kids. The wheelchair basketball has its own league to play in. And it's gonna be like, well, if the dog can play in the basketball, then the wheelchair kid can. And it's gonna be like they're gonna parallel the dog not being able to play basketball with the wheelchair kid,
Yeah.
and that's going to
So
be the difference.
so okay.
Otherwise, it just looks
I'm
like
gonna
the same
say
movie.
I'm gonna say probably the less politically correct version of that statement, which is I grew up in the 1990s slash early 2000s when I was young. Yeah, the more unbelievable part of this movie for me is not the dog playing. It's the no, that wheelchair boy would not be allowed to play. He would have his own league that
Yeah,
he
they
would
have
be
his own,
expected to play in.
right? He has his own league because,
That's the reality. There are different, as I
right?
understand it, there are different rules.
Yeah, there are different rules. Yeah, because
Like
you
he
know
can't.
he can
Can he dribble?
no, he's also
No,
faster.
then he's doing a different game.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's traveling. Yeah, but I'm sure shit looks like it's
So
gonna
I'm
be
just
part of
telling
the
you,
plot of
I'm
the
sure
movie.
that's probably, absolutely, clearly that's going to be. I'm just saying, yeah. Otherwise, it's just the first one. But no,
It's the
that's the
first
part where you
one.
have to be like, that's what's different.
Complete with the
And
referee from the first one who's in it
and
again. Yup, the
is he
dog can play.
actually?
Yes, it's the same one. The guy who's like,
Uh,
yup, the dog can
uh,
play basketball, except for he's old now.
so I don't. It's just yeah. I feel like that's going to be the thing where I'm like, that's where I draw the line.
That's
Not
where
the
the
dog,
dog playing
not the
basketball,
dog
totally
playing. I
fine.
mean,
Very
that's
believable.
fine.
But the kid in the wheelchair playing along with the norms? No, not
No,
believable. That offensive?
America
That
would
felt
never allow
offensive.
that to happen.
That's offensive. That feels offensive.
It is offensive. It's horribly offensive. What are you talking about? Of course it's offensive.
Feels
I never
offensive.
specifically said I was going to say the
That
non
feels
PC thing.
that feels very offensive. Very
But
offensive.
that's clearly going to be a plot thread in this
No, it
movie.
definitely is. It definitely is. That the wheelchair kid can play with the kids in the regular league. And it's like, well, no, but they're just kind of different sports. They're not the same. They're not.
That's what I'm saying.
That's not me disparaging wheelchair basketball.
No,
I
that's
can't.
hard too.
That's hard as shit. It's a very difficult sport. But like they're different. They're different,
different
sports.
rules.
They have different rules. I mean, it's like
Presumably they do anyway. Maybe that's my ignorance. Like I don't know.
No, yeah,
But
I'm pretty
presumably
sure.
there are different rules when it comes to dribbling.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's different rules. I mean,
Surely there has to be.
not substantially different rules, but I'm sure there are definitely like adjustments and accommodations made for the fact that they're in a wheelchair. I mean, what happens when she like rolls over the kid who she's chasing after with the ball's feet and crushes them? Like it just seems
What
like
happens
it's a
when they
safety
roll
thing
over
for
the dog's tail?
right. Like it just seems like it's a safety thing for. We've gone on with this way too much, Jordan. We've overthought it.
Yeah, I otherwise have nothing.
We've
No real
overthought
feelings
this movie about a
this.
dog playing basketball, Jordan. We've done that.
No, it's not the dog playing basketball that we've overthought.
Yeah, and we've overthought. We've overthought a part of this movie who I don't want to say the part we've thought out loud because it's probably
So,
not cool.
What was
Next.
the next thing you wanted to talk about, Justin?
Jordan, they released a clip. Normally I don't do clips from movies, but we got into such a thing about Street Fighter that this
Yeah,
was
I still feel nothing.
this was like kind of the first footage we've seen from it. And it's not that I feel nothing. I am still pretty stoked on this. I do still want to watch it, and I still am. It's just it's now it kind of looks like it's a big cartoon, like a Looney Tunes cartoon, like with the complete with like birds over people's heads cartoon. Like the characters are really floaty. The fighting looks really floaty. Like, yeah, is it cool that he's doing a Hadouken? Kinda, but it looks like it's a cartoon, and I don't know how I feel about it. I need to see the movie, but I was like, yeah, I don't know. I'm feeling
It's giving me real Dragon Ball Evolution vibes.
yeah. Like I'm like, I don't know. I'm feeling this less than I did when I saw that first trailer. So I'm like, I don't know. I'm not loving the fighting. The fighting needs to. It reminded me of, and people who like that movie will see this as a positive comparison, but I did not like that movie, so this is a negative comparison. But it reminded me of Kung Fu Hustle, where it was like part Kung Fu movie, part Looney Tunes cartoon, and it was like I like my Kung Fu to be clean and like hard and visceral and physical and like real. Like I like it to be real. What?
Hard and visceral.
Hard and laugh it up, Chuckles. But no, like I like Hit Girl, where it's like when she kicks a guy in the head and he collapses like a sack of potatoes, you really feel it. Like I don't like
you like it. You like it to be based in reality.
Yeah, at least a little bit. Yeah, I mean I do like a little bit of wire work, like a
I
little
didn't say
bit
firmly in reality.
right?
I said based in
maybe
reality.
Maybe it's because people are like, oh my god, Blanca looks like Jason Momoa. I'm like, no, he doesn't. He's moving so fast and he's bouncing around like he's fucking Sonic the Hedgehog. He doesn't really looks like a CGI troll. He doesn't look like anything. I'm like, no, the movie doesn't. At least this clip doesn't focus on anything long enough to really be interested by anything that's going on. But again, some of the fighting in the trailer looked good, so I'm still cautiously optimistic.
I feel nothing.
Jordan,
I'm not. I don't.
It's another case of comingsoon.net made this story sound more interesting than it is. So the Batman 2 popular Oscar winner confirms they're part of DC sequel. Jordan, now hearing that, you assume like an actor or an actress, maybe, you know, someone well known who you would definitely know by name, Jordan, right? You would assume when you're like Oscar winner, like someone really well known. Well, Jordan, Michael Giacchino shared that he's going to be working on the Batman 2.
Did he do like makeup or something?
No, he did the
What
music.
he, is
He
that
actually,
what
he
he
actually
wanted?
did the music on the Spider-Man movie we just watched.
Oh, okay.
He's the
The
guy
Batman-
who.
point being is it was something a little more esoteric, basically.
Yeah.
I don't know if I used that word correctly.
No, probably not, but that's fine. I'm not correcting you. Yeah, he's the guy who came up with the MCU Spider-Man theme, which I actually like. I to be fair, I like his Batman 1 score, but he did the score for Batman 1. Him announcing that he's going to be involved in the second one is like, you know, John
Utada Hikari is coming back to Kingdom Hearts. Gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that
So
makes sense.
it's like that, right?
It's a little like John Williams, Steven Spielberg being
It's
like,
like-
and then John Williams did my score. Yeah, that makes
Or like the one I said.
that makes sense. Yes, or fourth example.
Did you hear what I said?
I did hear what you say.
What did I say?
I don't know. I wasn't listening, but I did hear it.
Yeah, I said or like Utada Hikari being
I mean,
yeah, I'm
yes.
coming back for Kingdom Hearts.
I mean, that is like that. Jordan, Dwayne Johnson is making a movie which sounds absolutely crazy and kind of actually sounds good, and it's not Jumanji. Put a pin in that. He is working with again Amazon MGM on a movie that is apparently based on a book series called Lizard Music, and it's a CGI live action animated hybrid movie about a young boy who discovers a hidden doorway leading to a mysterious late night television broadcast in which lizards perform otherworldly music. His attempt to find the truth introduces him to the Chicken Man and his longtime companion Claudia. And I'm pretty sure a 111-year-old chicken. I'm pretty sure the Chicken Man is The Rock. And I'm not gonna lie to you, that actually sounds fun. Like I don't know why people give The Rock such shit. Like when he does stuff that's fun and different. Like, yeah, is Rampage the greatest movie on the planet? No, it's not. But at least is like kind of fun. The Rock, do less shitty Moana. Do less shitty Moana in a bad wig and do more of this. Because this actually sounds fun.
I need to see a trailer.
I mean, does it sound fun by description?
Sure.
Exactly.
Why not?
Why not? Jordan, did I send you the trailer for Ebenezer?
No.
Shit,
No, you didn't.
I completely forgot to do that. Have you seen anything involving it?
That's the one that's done by Jim Carrey.
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp, yeah. And then I saw a thing where he came out on a step, and then all people were dressed in a bunch of his previous
Yes,
things.
and they all came and they talked to him in character as Ebenezer Scrooge. Yes. This happened last week during Comic-Con, and I meant to put it in our stories, but for whatever reason, it wasn't on comingsoon.net, and I completely missed it. And it would have been great to talk about while we were waiting for Jake, but that's whatever. People were like, "Oh, it's a prequel movie." Basically, the marketing pitches this as, I'll spare you the trailer. I'll do a basic description of it. Have you seen A Christmas Carol?
Yeah.
There you go. It's A Christmas Carol, but Jordan, what if Johnny Depp did a weird Jack Sparrow type character version of it? Remember when Johnny Depp did weird characters like the one from Dark Shadows, or Jack Sparrow, or the Mad Hatter, or come on, Jordan, give me an example. Edward Scissorhands, or Jordan, give me another example. One of the bad ones.
22 Jump Street.
No, that's not one of the bad ones. I'm sure there's got to be one more, right?
Jack Sparrow.
Jack Sparrow. I think I already said Jack Sparrow. It's one of those. It's he or no, there's always
Tauntaun.
Mordecai. Tauntaun. Yeah. Mordecai. You know, we need a weird, funny, stupid voice, and he did a bad character. That's what this is. It's that, but it's.
Or when he became the computer.
Yes, it's that, but it's Johnny Depp, and it's A Christmas Carol, and it looks bad. Not even just that it looks bad. It looks bad. The marketing is he was canceled, but now he's back. That's literally the trailer. It's the stupidest thing. But not only is it bad, but like the trailer seems to indicate that it's the story you never knew, and it seems to imply that it's also a prequel. But like the trailer is all him as old man Ebenezer Scrooge doing the Christmas Carol stuff, and I saw so many people say this, but they're like, what the fuck do you mean it's a prequel? There was already a prequel. It was called A Christmas Carol.
Yeah, there's that whole scene where you see him.
They go to the past. Man. That part of it, everyone's like, this movie looks embarrassing, and it's one of the most embarrassing. Oh, that must have been what it was. It must have been the story that said Johnny Depp fans call this movie embarrassing. It must have been this one. That must have been me missing it. Because this is embarrassing. What is this? What the fuck are you doing? You're in like 10 pounds of makeup. If you saw the clips of him doing the bit at Comic-Con, it looks just as bad in the movie, if not worse. Like, oh my god, what are you doing, Johnny Depp? Go make Pirates 7.
I didn't even realize that it was for a movie. I just saw that he was doing it, and I thought it was some sort of like
it's promoting this shitty looking movie for some weird ass reason. Come on, phone, unlock. Why are we not unlocking? We're moving on to the next thing. We're moving on to the next thing. Hold on. Marvel. We'll do 3 rapid fire Marvel things at the end. Johnny Depp done. Let's talk about Jumanji. This is funny.
More like Jumanji 3.
Jumanji 3, but actually 5. 4? Jumanji 4. Because technically there's the one with Robin Williams. It's considered.
No, we don't count that.
I don't either, but the franchise does.
Yeah, but we don't.
No, it's funny because Haley sent me this trailer, and she was like, "Why? Who wants this?" And I saw so many people. I saw at least one video of a person being like, "What is this? It's the same joke every single time." And I'm like, "Yeah, but it's funny. I don't know. It looks funny." I will say, The Rock doing a Cuban accent made me cringe. I was like, "Oh, really? Why? Why? You already get to do an affect a bunch in these movies." I'm also concerned that the real world stuff is like 20 minutes of the movie.
That's sure what it looks like.
And then the rest of it is they go back into the game, and the mom is now The Rock. And I'm like, but the mom, why? The mom hasn't been a character this whole time. Why are we now forcing her to be a character? Why? Well, okay. That takes all the fun. I also don't love the element of it that I get the gag they're going for, and I will say it does feel like it comes. The number one thing I hate about video game movies is when people who write it have never played a fucking video game. It's why I can't stand Free Guy. Oh, I'm gonna have to do Free Guy one of these days. But like them being in play mode, that is a thing. That is a thing that happens, and it's it's where the video game plays, and it's just the demo showing you that like I kind of get that gag. but I do think like them all being weird and awkward and not really getting to be characters, like they're just kind of there for a gag. That's kind of a waste for me. Like I think it would have been better and more interesting, but at the same time it's Jumanji. But I think it just would have been more
I think
interesting.
what they should have done is they should have had it where like the Jumanji game is like at home or whatever, and it's all jumbled together. It looks like it's half destroyed, and then they go out to find the Jumanji people, the dude, the Rock, and them, and they see them and they're in demo mode, and then like they're chasing them or something, and then the cat at home knocks the console off, and it knocks it out of demo mode, and then they become the real versions of the
No,
characters.
that would be a little better. Like it just to me it's a wasted opportunity. You have fucking the trailer did the dirty version. You have this guy that you've been inside for 2 movies. It's just this wasted opportunity to be like, I was this person, I'm now confronting them from the outside. Just be like, oh, I'm kind of hoping it's a case of a bad trailer, because like yeah, having Brave Stone
I'm
show
hoping
up
it
and,
ends up being more of a thing that I
right,
say.
yeah, like having him be an actual same thing with Shelley Oberon, who's been women for like I like the joke that he's basically just his demo mode is just he's just the welcome to Jumanji guy. Is like, well, okay, I'm just like, I don't know, it's not doing anything for me. And if you're gonna bring these characters in the real world, you should do something with it from a story perspective. Like, yeah, have it where they now have to confront these people that they've been these people. Like, what does that mean? Like, apparently they're anatomically correct for some reason. Like, I just like there's so much humor to be mined from this. And also, it's always interesting. No, I don't know if he was in the trailers for the second one, but it'll be interesting to see if Colin Hanks or shit, the guy who Colin Hanks is inside, Nick Jonas. It'll be interesting to see if they show up in this, if Nick Jonas's character comes out. But yeah, I'm really hoping that they get. I know that they won't, and I know I'm gonna walk away disappointed. Also, it'd be interesting to see if they're gonna do more with the notion that the bad guy characters in there are also player characters, because there was an implication towards that in the last one. But yeah, these movies are not that smart, and it's unfortunate because it's like they like you've got this fun concept that I've been wanting since the second one, and you just didn't do anything with it. I'm like, I'm a little disappointed, but it still looks fun. And me, Haley, this movie is for me, and Jordan by extension, because he also likes these movies.
I do.
We're gonna cut that. Jordan, rapid fire. 3 rapid fire stories. Number 1, Spider-Man is making a buttload of money.
Surprising
shit,
nobody.
fuck ton. It on opening weekend, the opening Thursday screenings, I think I heard like doubled Endgame's. It's looking to beat Endgame overall, like as the biggest opening weekend of all time, and people are falsely being like, oh, that means that the Marvel universe is fine or whatever, and that everyone who's been poo-pooing Avengers and Doomsday making a bunch of money is wrong. And like to a degree they are. Avengers Doomsday is going to make a boatload of money, and all those people are going to be wrong, just based on the general vibes I got from the theater we were in. But also number 2, this is also true. A lot of people said this. People just like Spider-Man, and it's been 5 years. That's honest. That's honest to God what it is. Like the Amazing Spider-Man movies made a boatload of money. They just didn't make enough of a boatload of money. If the Amazing Spider-Man movies hadn't come out in such close proximity to the Avengers movies, and they weren't trying to ape that shit, they would still be making those movies, because those movies made it. Because Spider-Man, people just like Spider-Man, which is totally fine. It's totally fine. Like you can absolutely just like Spider-Man.
Yeah, everybody has a favorite superhero.
Right. They also canceled Wonder Man, which I hear is good. I'm gonna watch that. Speaking of Avengers, I'm gonna watch that.
It's good that they canceled it?
No, I hear that show is good, and it's a disappointment that they canceled it.
Oh, because you said they canceled it, and that's good.
Oh, sorry. They canceled it, and I hear it's good. And it's a shame that they canceled it. I'm going to watch it for our Avengers episode.
How can you watch it if they canceled it?
There's one season of it, and I'm gonna watch it.
Oh, I thought you meant like they canceled it before it came out.
No, 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 no. They made the one
Uh,
season of the show.
it
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 did well
got
critically,
canceled.
and
Got
everyone
it.
loved it. But it contains a black character and a black lead performer, so Marvel canceled it. Just like they never managed to make a
Well,
Blade
that's
movie.
racist.
People have pointed it out that all the black leading superhero movies, despite success, have not been pushed forward, or they've been canceled, or they've been changed. Like they canceled Wonder Man. They have not managed to get a Blade movie off the ground. They turned that the Secret Wars. They haven't made that. They haven't done anything with Kamala Khan. I think Kamala Khan would have been fun if she were in this in Spider-Man.
I agree. I
I
agree.
would love to see her and Spider-Man together in something. So there's a lot of implication that like they're real confident in the ones with the straight white guys, and they're less confident in the ones with the people of color, and they're getting sidelined even though they're just as popular, which is a shame because a lot of these projects are good. Like a lot of these characters are good, and they should be in more shit. Like yeah, I think if Spider-Man demonstrated anything, I don't know. But to be fair, I'm coming at this from a viewer's perspective, where like I understand as an actor, maybe doing one day on Spider-Man where you put on a scorpion costume. In the case of Michael Mandow, who's in like 2 scenes, maybe that's too much of a commitment for what it offsets in pay. That's totally
I
valid.
imagine it also depends on how much of a fan you are of the original medium.
No, I don't think so.
Like Kamala Khan. No, yeah, absolutely. Like the girl who plays Kamala Khan, she was a huge Kamala Khan fan. Guarantee you, she would be more receptive to
Oh,
dressing up.
yeah, fair enough. Coming back for a day and putting on when also a
Yeah,
costume is easier to put on. But yeah, I guess it depends. But yeah, yeah.
as opposed to
Um,
like, for example, to take it in the most extreme of opposite directions, the guy who played Beast, the
yeah,
original guy who
yeah.
played
He's gonna be
Beast.
less willing
You
to
think
come
about
back.
the hours and hours it would
No,
take to put that costume on.
that's why Nightcrawler in the new one. Although I hear in the new one he's still wearing makeup, but
No, I meant Beast.
no, Beast is the same boat. He that's the reason why he became a CGI character.
Yeah. Why
Kelsey
his
Grammer was like, "I'll
modern
come back. Wait,
version
I just have to put
was
on."
a
I was gonna say,
that's why the modern guy was also willing to come back is because he was able to write into his contract that his version of the character gets a convenient little thing which turns his powers off and turns him back into human.
right. Kelsey Grammer was like, "What? I just have to put a few dots on my face and wear a green hoodie. I can do that for a couple of days. Why not? How many millions? Sure, fuck, why not? Yeah." And then the Nicholas Holt was like, "Okay, here's the deal. I'm gonna have a little doohickey that turns it off and on. I'm gonna do 3 scenes where I put on the full makeup, and my character now wears sleeves.
And we're gonna shoot those scenes all at once, so
All at
I only
once.
have to get into the makeup one
Right,
time.
right." Jennifer Lawrence was the same way. She was like, from now until the end of my time in these movies, my character long sleeves. I wear gloves. We only do the face and hair. That's it. That's why in Dark Phoenix she wears a jacket the whole time.
The jumpsuit too.
Right? Like I'm gonna be regular Jennifer Lawrence for like 90% of the movie. Um, that's it, Jordan. That's the news.
Da 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 da. Da 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 da
There wasn't
da.
much of it. We really made it stretch, Jordan. I really had to struggle to find stories this week. Anyway, continuing on from last week, which was Into the Spider-Verse Part 1, the actual Spider-Man stuff. If the further you reach, everyone knows if you get real close in the Spider-Verse to Spider-Man, that the guys who are Spider-Man. But what you don't know is if you go even further and further out into the Spider-Verse, you get guys who they sound like Spider-Man, because obviously you don't know what Spider-Man looks like. I realize this, Jordan. You don't know what Spider-Man looks like. He wears a mask, but you know what he sounds like, and you know that these guys sound like him. I will go first this week. At the beginning of this week. No, not all of these are going to be super awesome fun. No, I really look. Here's the thing. I always make fun
Well, that's setting up for a fun episode.
No. I mean, they're good. They're good movies, but are they fun movies? Probably debatably. The thing I wanted to prove to myself this week is I wanted to prove to myself that Tobey Maguire was a good actor. Somebody in the comments tell me a movie where you're like, Tobey Maguire is a great actor, because I was like, he does the dopey chin thing in Spider-Man. He's never given a great performance in those movies. And I'd seen bits from this, like, because this is one of those ones that came out when I worked at the movie theater, so I'd seen parts.
Spider-Man 1.
You know,
That's a movie that he's good in.
Yeah, he's doing the dopey lip thing when Uncle Ben. Uncle Ben died. You know I'm right. Anyway, this is a movie that came out when I worked at. I'm getting to the title. Don't worry. This is a movie that came out when I worked at the movie theater, so I've seen bits and pieces of it sporadically. I never seen the whole thing at once. This is Brothers, and as I don't know if I've said before, I have a particular strong attachment and fondness of narratives that involve brothers for reasons that if you know, you know. I'm always really into them. This stars Tobey Maguire and Jake Gyllenhaal. It was really funny and auspicious that we said Jake Gyllenhaal is a sneak like sniper performance where he's always good and you never see it coming. This is exactly that. This is about Tobey Maguire is the older brother. He's kind of like a square head, kind of square jaw, goody. He does everything by the book kind of character. And he's a soldier in the army, enlisted, and he gets sent to Afghanistan. And he's got 2 daughters. The one daughter is, you remember, Wizards of Waverly Place?
Yes, of course.
You remember Maxine?
Yes, she was also in Bridge to Terabithia.
Was she actually? She's in this.
Pretty sure.
That's funny. It's been so long since I've seen that movie. She's in this. In fact, I think she's in 2 of my movies this week randomly. But she's in this, and she's the daughter. And his interactions with her are kind of awkward initially. I should say she's Tobey Maguire's daughter. And their interactions are kind of stiff, but he can still kind of manage to get past her walls. There's a really weird moment where, like, he wants to hug her, and she's like, no, thank you. And he, like, actively violates her consent by continually trying to hug her. She keeps saying no, and then he, like, forces him to hug her, or her to hug him, and it's kind of weird. And I'm like, this is kind of icky. And Jake Gyllenhaal is the younger brother, and he is the stereotypical fuck-up, where he parties, drinks, and he has been recently arrested for armed robbery for robbing some convenience store, robbing something. What he robs is not important. And this movie is really, really good. It's really brilliant because each of the brothers have parallel character arcs. I'm gonna have to spoil this movie. I'm sorry, but they have parallel character arcs where Tobey Maguire starts off as like the goody, square-jawed, follows orders, good soldier, is going off to war, and the movie implies that is this horrible thing. Their dad was a Vietnam War vet, has horrible PTSD, and hit their mom and drank and was just yelled at them constantly or whatever. And he's the one who's like pushing Tobey Maguire.
The real good guy.
Yeah.
Real good
He's
person.
the one who pushes Tobey Maguire to go to war. So Tobey Maguire goes off to war, and the dad and the mom hate Jake Gyllenhaal. Like they resent him for all the poor choices he's made, and they constantly get into fights or whatever. And he develops a relationship with Tobey Maguire's wife, played by Natalie Portman, and the 2 little girls. And as the movie goes on, it cuts between the narrative cuts between Tobey Maguire and Jake Gyllenhaal. Cuts back to Tobey Maguire as his big part of the plot of this is Tobey Maguire's airplane crashes, and he's declared dead in action. And so Jake Gyllenhaal and initially Natalie Portman doesn't like Jake Gyllenhaal. They sort of bond because Jake Gyllenhaal starts taking care of them, starts doing like chores and like various things for them around their house. Like he brings in their friends and they renovate their kitchen and whatever. And so you think that Tobey Maguire is dead, and it keeps cutting back to him, and he's not dead. He's trying to like escape back to his family, and he's being held prisoner by the Taliban, and he's been kidnapped. And it gets to a point where the Taliban guys are like, if you want to get out of here and get back to your wife, you're gonna have to kill your fellow soldier, your friend. And so Tobey Maguire beats him to death with a bar. And
that escalated quickly.
And it does, and it's a really uncomfortable, intense scene. Like the sound design is like boom, boom, as he's like whacking him. In the meantime, Jake Gyllenhaal's storyline is that he's becoming closer with the family. He's stopped drinking. He goes to apologize to the woman who he robbed, and he builds a relationship with her. And like he starts to become a better person, and he starts to become a good guy, and like a nice, good, well-adjusted. The kids love him. There's a moment where him and Natalie Portman nearly kiss, and they're both like, "No, this would not be okay," and they do not get together like at all. And eventually, Tobey Maguire gets rescued, and he comes back, and he now has horrible PTSD. And he's now abusing his wife and yelling at the kids, and everything the kids do pisses him off. He constantly is like, every scene between him and the family is uncomfortable and tense, and you're waiting for the moment for him to snap. And then at the end of the movie, obviously he finally does snap, and he's like bashing the shit out of the cabinet. And now Jake Gyllenhaal's character is now tight with the family, and he's the nice, square-jawed, clean guy. And Tobey Maguire is the one who everyone has. He's the one who's on edge. Their character arcs are now
inversed.
They're inversed. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he started over here. He's now over here. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and it's
inversed.
it's really brilliant, and it's really well done. And the performances are really good. Like it's probably the best Tobey Maguire freaking out you'll ever see. Like, again, that you fully believe that they're brothers. I think Jake Gyllenhaal was gonna play. You know how they have the bit where in Spider-Man 2 where he's like, my back. Well, they were gonna replace Tobey Maguire with Jake Gyllenhaal, so they look believably enough like they could be brothers. It totally works. Great movie. I was surprised. I was like, this is really good and really powerful, but like it's not a happy good time. But like it's a really good movie, and it's not overly upsetting. Brothers. Next.
So you, I think, have already on stream done this movie, Dope.
I have.
Who is the Spider-Man voice is Miles Morales from Across the Spiderverse.
Yes, it is. Don't tell me the name of the actor. It is. Nope, it's completely gone. What's the name?
Shameik Moore.
Shameik Moore. That's what it is. Yes, I really like this movie. It's one of my all-time favorites.
So since you've already done it, I don't think I need to do a plot recap, since we can just put it here.
We can do that. I mean, the abridged version is about it's a young black man trying to get out of the projects.
I mean, the slightly less abridged version is him and Flash Thompson and the girl.
And the girl from Neighbors 2.
Sure, the girl go to a drug person's party. He ends up with a bunch of, what was it?
Molly.
That was it. And then his college admissions person is like also the drug kingpin or something, I guess. And it'll like make me whole, and then stuff happens.
So here's my question though. Did you? The reason why I was kind of interested in you watching this. Like when you watched it, there's no outside influences. It's just you. Did you like it more than you did the first time?
I don't remember it the first time. So
the first time
instantly that means yes by just the sheer fact that I remember it this time.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I think I have watched it since.
Have you?
On my own.
Have you?
Because this is pretty much exactly what I remembered from when I watched it.
Because I just remember the people, you and the people because we have to do, we want to keep these people's privates private, so we're going to do this in the private way. but I was like, we need to watch this because the main character of this movie is Dave. Clef. I like Clef. That's a good one. It's Clef.
No, I said Black.
Yeah. But we're gonna use fake names. The main character in this movie, in terms of people in our life, he's Clef.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was relatable to a person that we knew.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
Kind of basically the point. And so Justin thought that this individual would in particular enjoy this movie. I don't remember if it was just because of us, our other friend Bob, but
Bob definitely. I like Bob. Bob, that's a solid reference that only Bob would get. What about Bob?
Oh, I hadn't even thought of that.
Bob is the reason we've seen Bob. What about Bob? That's the joke.
Bob was a distracting influence who kind of detracted from the movie-going experiences, I guess how I would word it.
Bob is not great about paying attention to movies. I like the fake name thing. We're going to have to keep the fake name thing. That's a really useful device. Yes, Bob was very bad at that particular time. If it wasn't in a movie theater, Bob was not great about paying attention to movies.
He would get very easily distracted, which, I mean, kind of makes sense because it's known that I should say, in my family anyways, a number of my family members have been known to have ADHD, so that's not entirely shocking.
Bob had his own version of the phone test that he often failed.
But anyways,
this time you have to get to like because like I like this movie because it seems surface level I watched this movie because Andre the Black Nerd recommended it in a video, and I don't know what possessed me. I watched it twice in a row. I liked it so much I watched it and then I rewatched it immediately. Like that's how much I like this movie.
I'm not gonna say I enjoy it quite that much. I don't know. To me,
I found that like even though it is about black people. I found out the themes.
Oh, that sounds bad when you say it.
It is. It's about a black gentleman.
No, but I just like I like it despite the fact that it's about that. Like,
well, no, I should say, despite the fact that it's about a black teen from the projects. I am not a black teen, and I am not from the projects. So I found its themes of of the people around you not understanding the things that you're into. I found that relatable. I found his experience to be kind of universal, and that's why I like that movie, like not being able to fully articulate who you are.
And that's kind of my thing with this movie is it does all that, and I've seen that in other movies, so it's not shocking, it's not revolutionary to me, because the stuff that makes it different I'm not ever going to engage with that, right? So that part of it I don't engage with, so it's otherwise just kind of a coming of age story.
Yeah, it is. It's a really good one. It's a really good coming of age story.
It's a really solid movie. I'm just saying it's just a coming of age story.
My favorite bit is in
That's
the middle.
all that I get out of it.
That's very valid. My favorite bit. To be fair, there's two of my favorite bits. I like when we're talking about Quentin Tarantino and the N-word. Anytime I think of a white person saying the N-word, I think of this movie.
The white kid in this movie.
I think of the white kid in this movie. I think of her being like, "It's fine. You could say the N-word. It's just every time you do, I'm gonna smack the shit out of you." And I'm like, I just. Anytime I hear a white person use the N-word, that's what I think of.
It is kind of a double standard though, because why is the Flash allowed to say it?
Right, I don't disagree. It's kind of my favorite scene in this movie is still when the plot comes to a grinding halt, so two completely irrelevant characters can have a conversation about why it is not okay for them to say the N-word. Like, even if we're singing the songs and apparently even if we're singing the songs, we're not allowed to say the N-word.
Well, what are we supposed to say? N-word such and such? Like, that doesn't rhyme or make sense.
Right? Like, my other favorite there's so many great scenes. I love the bits in the middle where they meet Lily and the guy the advisor guy's son who has the studio in his fucking house, and they go to buy like we'll let you know when you get your lunch. Just the whole bit where like, I'm gonna shoot you, and then it cuts to them like 5 minutes later. The narrator is Lawrence Fishburne, also funny. Yeah, this,
Did you know that this was executive produced by Pharrell
I
Williams?
did know that. That's why it was being done by Andre the Black Nerd, was because it was produced by Pharrell Williams, and I think it's sort of semi biographical, not fully, but it's based on elements of his life living in the projects and whatnot. I don't want to say that for sure in case I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I like the music. I like Oreo's music. I
Oh
all,
yeah.
I like the one song that they sing. I like the closing song, the one that plays when he's doing his big monologue about how he's both things. I love that. It's one of those, like, it takes me back to a particular moment in
Know
my
what I
life.
want?
It's my turn now. It's my turn now.
Can't
It's
bring
my
me down.
Can't Bring Me Down.
Is the other one?
I love that song too. And then uh Good Grades School. Then gotta find a
Aria
way.
has a couple songs here that they're listed as being theirs. There's Can't Bring Me Down, there's
Yeah.
Go Ahead, there's Don't Get Deleted,
Don't Get Deleted.
and then there's It's My Turn Now.
It's My Turn Now. That is the one. That's the one that plays at the end. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of Don't Get Deleted. And then yeah, the one they sing at band when they're like, we get to do band practice. That the first one. I really like that song. But yeah,
I think that's Can't Bring Me Down.
is it Can't Bring Me Down? Yeah,
Pretty sure.
No, Can't Bring Me Down is the one they sing when they're with the guy's son or whatever, and with Lily, they're hanging out. And he's like, oh, why don't we go lay it down, bros? That's that one.
I believe.
Um,
Anyways, yeah, this movie it's fine.
Yeah,
It's good. You know,
it was one of those ones where it caught me. Every once in a while, I get really invested in a movie when it catches me off guard by being better than I think it's gonna be, and I think this was just one of those times where I was like, I don't know why. I think I was also really into Breaking Bad at the time, so like there's an element of Breaking Bad in this. When he's selling the drugs, but I like it. I like this movie. Jordan, is that it for dope?
that's it. That's dope.
That's dope. Also, him doing the. This is the first thing I saw Shamik Moore in, number one. Before
That's because it's his debut thing.
Yeah. So when
The first thing he ever did.
when they announced that he was going to be Spider-Man, I was instantly like, yes, he's perfect. Like, he's perfect. He's perfect. There's a point, the song that did you watch the whole dance at the end, or did you turn it off immediately?
I don't know. I probably turned it off.
That song that he's dancing to, the Humpty Hump, it showed up in a movie, one of these biopic movies I watched. And I was like, hey, that's that song from that movie I like. Okay. So, next thing. So, Jordan, the Great Wide Spider-Verse. Sometimes a Spider-Man is not a man. Sometimes he's a pig. And sometimes that pig kind of sounds like comedian John Mulaney. And sometimes comedian John Mulaney plays Chip of Chip and Dale in the weirdest movie in existence. Like, I just don't know that there is a movie that is more mind-boggling than this one. In a lot of ways, this movie reminded me of okay.
I mean, it's definitely supposed to be like a pseudo sequel to Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh, for sure. Well, it got me thinking, like, they should make movies in this unit. Like, yes, definitely. Well, it's implied. Okay.
I think they directly reference Roger Rabbit.
Yes, Roger Rabbit shows up in this, and Goo is there's a point where Peter Pan opens up his torture kit, and one of the torture items is Goo.
Yeah. So yeah,
Not Goo,
it is
not
a
Goo,
pseudo
sorry,
sequel.
Dip. It's
Dip.
Yeah. So on my headcanon, and I think the movie more or less confirms it by having Roger Rabbit and Dip in it, is that this is the same universe, just in the modern day. Like, this is what happened with tunes and technology and the integration
as
of the
the
two
world kept going.
just kept evolving. Yes. For those of you who have not seen Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers, the movie, it's not an adaptation of the cartoon, but rather Chip and Dale are actors who meet as kids and develop a creative partnership, and they go on to create or act in and create, I guess, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, the show. It is not stated whether or not that they are the same Chip and Dale who did the Disney cartoons. Like, it's not really clear as to, like how they did a bunch of Mickey cartoons. It doesn't really seem to be clear as to whether or not they did those. It just seems to say, mostly because I don't think that the people who made this movie watched anything beyond Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
Probably not.
There's so many, like, this is a movie who I don't know who it's for, because, like,
It's for adults.
it seems to be for, I guess it's for adults.
It's
but
definitely for adults.
it wants to sell it seemingly wants to use Chip and Dale to be kids, but all the jokes seem like there's I can't, but maybe it's because they're not the core. I consider Chip and Dale the core character group. Like Goofy, Donald, Daisy, Minnie, Mickey, Chip and Dale. So like when Chip cracks a beer in this and Chip and Dale are sitting around drinking a beer, I can't believe Disney let them do that. Like, there's like,
there's a lot of things in this movie I can't believe they let them do.
Like, there's
Peter Pan being one of them.
We're gonna get there. There's a needle drop at the beginning that's "Friendship is Rare" by Tenacious D, but it's like a PG version of that song with lyric changes and everything. And I'm just like, it reminded me of being like 12 years old and hearing a song you like in a movie and then discovering the R-rated version when you go to look it up later. Like, that's what it reminded me of. I could just picture an 11-year-old going like, "Oh, I like this song," and then Googling Tenacious D and then finding something by Tenacious D. And being like the
Finding
Bomb of Destiny.
Apocalypto.
Right, yeah. You're like what? Like, this is so, what, really? Disney let you put in a Tenacious D needle drop? Do you know what Tenacious D is? Like, that's so weird. And like, yeah, there's so many, like, I think it's
that's why I say this movie felt like it was for adults because it was made by the Lonely Island guys.
Right, and very much as they're saying. I like the gag that all of the characters on Rescue Rangers except for Gizmo or Gadget and Monterey Jack, that's just a voice they do. Like, I think that's funny. It is very weird to see John Mulaney's voice coming out of Chip's body. That is very strange. But no, there's a lot of background, like where you see South Park, like Randy from South Park walking in the background, or like there's so many jokes that you're like, who, like the ugly Sonic joke is for like 10 people, none of which would watch Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. Like, who is this for? This is for me, Justin.
Yeah.
It's like they were writing it. They're like, Justin is gonna find this hilarious.
I mean, they're using one of the backgrounds. I remember you see a Keyblade.
Yeah. There's one point. Not only do you see a Keyblade, there's two things. You see a Keyblade and
his hair.
His hair.
Sora's hair.
Yeah, you see Sora's hair. In one of the background objects. Yeah, it's super weird. Or like,
there's just a lot of there's so many references that like it's overwhelming.
There's the gag where it's all of the different characters played by Seth Rogen all laughing at each other.
Yeah.
I don't know how you couldn't find that funny.
In the terrible animation styles too.
Right. Like, I don't understand how, like, there's so many people who, like, it's a weird movie because, like, I do kind of get it where people are like, I hated this. It's just IP slop. But I think that's what makes it funny. Is I think like anything by the Lonely Island, it's a bit deeper than just being IP slop. I think the gag is, yes, that it is IP slop. That is the punchline in a lot of
yeah,
this.
I mean, it's also definitely supposed to be harkening back to like Who Framed Roger Rabbit. That's the idea.
I do like that. There's a lot of to be fair, I like meta jokes. Like, I like the joke where they're like, "Yeah, it can't be the police captain. It's too obvious." And then there's a bit at the end where he's like, "What didn't I say? Didn't I say the police captain is too obvious?" But then I said that it's a trope for a reason.
Yeah.
Like, no, I don't have any tragic backstory. I'm just evil. Yes, okay. Elephant in the room. The thing with Peter Pan is uncool. Like, it's uncool, and it's progressively. It's just it feels icky the whole movie. You're like, yeah, no, this kid. This is a bad one. What happened? I don't want to say because it's really not cool, but he had a bad, unhappy life, and making fun of him it's punching down in kind of a major way for like seemingly one sight gag that they redo 3 times. Like, it doesn't really add anything. It being Peter Pan doesn't really add anything. Like, I think it would have been funnier if you were going for the if you're going for connecting it to Roger Rabbit, I would have made it where the bad guy is the grandson of Maroon Cartoons.
Mm, but they wanted it to be a cartoon.
I get that, but I would have just scrapped
I
the
would have had
idea.
it be Pete.
Yeah, I do like that. There is a funny joke where they're going through the bootlegs, and one of them is Pete, and it's Pete in Aladdin, which is really funny because obviously Jim Cummings did a character in Aladdin. I'm like, that's a funny reference.
Uh,
Um, but yeah, that I would regardless. Yeah, the Peter Pan thing is weird. It's a weird joke that like somebody I guess thought
yeah,
was funny in the writers'
the idea
room,
is you're
but
taking like a cutesy character that like you've turned and made old. Like there are other ones you could have
right
done.
that don't have a weird backstory that I now know about that makes it kind of weird. You're like, yeah, this is mean spirited. But like otherwise, yeah, it's just every second of it. I've watched it
Heck, you
twice
could have
now.
made one.
Right? You could have invented one. But I don't know. I just think it would have been funny if like, or even if you connect it to Judge Doom, have it be Judge Doom's grandson, or have it be connection to the original. Like they're making. The reason why I went Maroon Cartoons because it could be a thing where like his family after the fallout of what happened in Toontown,
Went bankrupt.
yeah, and then you could make the twist that
I just think
it
it's
is a
boring if
soft.
it's a normal human.
Yeah, I mean you could make it where he got the Toon surgery. He turned himself into a Toon, and he's a Toon, and
Yeah.
that's the twist. But yeah, I just if you were gonna Disney let you made this weird movie, it's so weird. And every time I watched it now, I've been like, I can't believe Disney let them make this. So if you managed to get this by Disney and you're already connecting it to Roger Rabbit, I just think yeah, give it one final third connection and have the twist be the twist be that it's a sequel to Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I think that would have maybe made this more fondly remember. I don't fully understand why people didn't like this. People didn't like this, and it's not going to get a sequel as a result. And I'm like, that's kind of a shame because
I mean, I understand why people didn't like this. People didn't like this because it was
I know it's
called
AI
Chippendale
fluff.
Rescue Rangers. Well, no, not even just that, but it was called Chippendale Rescue Rangers, and it really had. It's not. It's more
Nah,
of a sequel to Who Framed Roger
right?
Rabbit than it is
Which it
that.
should have just been.
People
Should have just
wanted it to
been.
just be Chippendale Rescue Rangers
Um,
go on an adventure with the whole team, and they do a thing, and they
yeah.
didn't want this whole pullback narrative of
I
it being
would.
about a show.
I would do. It's funny.
I get why
Disney,
people don't like it.
you've
I
got.
like it,
I like
but
it. Disney, you've got this built-in, connected universe that you've created. Like they should make more movies in this universe. Not necessarily a sequel to this, but to have it be where yeah, like it's funny because one of the
I'd do
bootleg
a
characters
show.
you say, yeah, but it wouldn't have the same necessarily. Well, if she did it live action, maybe, but like yeah,
Yeah.
it's funny. One of the bootleg characters you see is Bonkers, which is just a
Uh,
wild reference. Like there's just so many references. You're like, the people who wrote this really have a reverence for the Disney afternoon for some fucking reason, and I respect it. I absolutely.
I mean,
Respect
they
it.
have a reverence for that because that's where this comes from.
Yeah, yeah, no, but it's a reference that's a little. It's a reference that's a bit more than like what this would have been, the movie version of the show in the '90s. Like there's a bit more like you could tell that they definitely watched this show. Anyway, it's Chip and Dale, Rescue Rangers. Rescue Rangers.
So my next one is one where it feels like it should have been more fun just than when I was reading the description of what it was, it felt like it should have been more fun than it was, and it ended up just kind of being boring. It's called The Lost City of Z. Um, when I read the little plot description that it gave me when I was picking it, it was basically like father and son have to work together to go and discover this lost city. And I was like, oh, that sounds fun. And then it ends up being this like, it ends up being, yeah, it's basically what I thought it was going to be. And it ends up being like this epic biographical adventure where it's like, it's got Tom Holland in it, but like barely, and like near the end. But yeah, basically the guy Charlie Hunnam plays Fawcett. He keeps going back to Amazon, I think. The Amazon it was. Hold on. Bolivia. Government of Bolivia and Brazil are almost at war because of the location of their mutual land, like the border. And so this dude, Fawcett, is sent into the territory to basically make a map of the area so that they won't go to war. so that they can,
So
properly say who is land is who.
are they? Would you say that they threw everything in this, but the kitchen sink?
No?
Because his name is Fawcett.
Oh,
Fawcett.
no? Um,
Fawcett.
yeah, no, no, no,
Fawcett.
no. Um, and so he spends like a good chunk of his life in the jungle to the point where his son goes from being like 4 years old to like what's clearly supposed to be like an adult because now
Tom
he's Tom
Holland
Holland.
age.
Um, and he convinces his
Is
dad to go
Tom
back.
Holland
He
British?
convinces his dad to go back. Yeah, yeah, they are. Um, I think. Um, he convinces his dad to go back to the jungle one last time so they can explore together. And they were never heard from again.
Oh, what, they
The,
died?
m- the mom, the
Oh,
mom and wife, spent the rest of her days
I don't
praying that
trust
her
it.
husband and son would come back, and they never did.
Oh, they got clearly got eaten by a jaguar.
No, presumably they. Well, I mean, the movie ends with them getting captured by the natives that were like near this supposed city, lost city of Z. They were in the movie anyway, captured by these natives, and then Tom Holland is all crying, being like, "We're gonna die here." And then yeah, it cuts to the fade to text
Oh,
where we,
postscript.
presumably they were killed by the natives,
They were taken down in the prime of their life,
sacrificed.
sacrificed to a native god of some sort,
Um, but
of
yeah,
some
um,
such.
I don't have much more to say about this one. It was kind of dull.
It kind of was. It kind of
Have you seen it? Do you
was.
know it?
No, no, I don't. I do not. Joy, is that it for the Lost City
Yeah,
of Z?
yeah, yeah.
Poo-loo-loo-loo-loo.
It had Tom Holland in it, by the way, in case that was missed by
Speaking of
anyone.
Tom Holland, here's my thing about Tom Holland that I'm discovering, Jordan. Tom Holland just is a baby face. It doesn't really matter what you do. You're always gonna look like you're a child, Tom Holland. You can try to like look as
I
gaunt as
don't
you
know. He
want.
looked older in this new Spider-Man.
I mean, a little, but he's still
Like
kind
he
of
looked
looking,
like he was in his early 20s,
he's still
even though I
looking
think
like a
he's like my
child.
age.
He's trying to give himself some gruff, some 5 o'clock shadow. So, so this
How old
is
is Tom
Jordan.
Holland?
If I had a nickel for every time a Spider-Man went to the Middle East and came back a disaffected veteran who made poor choices, I'd have 2 nickels. But
He's
it's
30.
weird that it happened twice. What? So, Jordan, you threw off my groove. I'm gonna now have to do that joke again, Jordan.
Happened twice. Weird that it happened twice. Got it.
Jordan, if I had a nickel for every time a Spider-Man played a disaffected veteran who came back from the Middle East and made poor choices, I'd have 2 nickels. But it's weird that it happened twice. This is Cherry. This is Tom Holland and the Russo brothers. And this movie was kind of bad. It wasn't very good. It was kind of not. So okay, it's basically told through like the journal of Tom Holland's character. So Tom Holland narrates the whole thing, and he will not stop talking. Anytime a character isn't saying dialogue, Tom Holland is saying narration. And it's so much narration that it's too much that you can't possibly retain it all. You're just like, oh my god, like, stop talking for like 30 seconds so I can retain any of what you just said. And it's about how he goes to, I think it's Afghanistan, it doesn't matter. And he comes back and he has horrible PTSD. And this, I guess, was based on the real life of the guy. It's based on a book, and the book is based on the real life of a veteran. And so this takes place during the opioid crisis. So the doctor, in order to help him deal with his PTSD, prescribes him opioids, and he becomes addicted to opioids. And then he, off the back of becoming addicted to opioids, he becomes
Say
addicted
opioids one more time.
opioids. He becomes addicted to heroin. And he meets at the beginning of his story, he meets a girl. Oh, and the movie's told in parts like pretentiously like a fucking Tarantino film. And at the beginning of the story, he meets a girl, and the girl, well, he's addicted to drugs, and the girl's like, "You need to stop doing drugs or whatever." And he's like, "I can't stop doing drugs or whatever." She's like, "Oh, if you want to keep doing drugs or whatever, I'll just do drugs with you." And then she just starts taking OxyContin with him and just arbitrarily starts doing drugs with him for seemingly no reason. Even though it's at the point where he's like a horrible addict and she can see how it's affecting him. So then it cuts forward even more time, and now they're horribly addicted, and they keep trying to steal shit, and it hits a point where he decides he's going to rob banks to get money. And a big criticism of this movie is that it sympathizes with the bank robber, not the bank victim. Like, it tries to be like he goes to rob a bank at one point, and they call him a monster, or they and he's like, "You think I don't deserve this? You know what I did for this country? You know what I did?" And like, it tries to sort of pseudo make a statement on like disaffected veterans, which, hey, I like totally get. Like, that's definitely an issue that country faces. Once people come back from war, America tends to abandon them. So I definitely get that like they do require sympathy, but he kind of holds a gun in people's faces, so maybe not a ton of sympathy. And he does like a lot of bad shit. He does a lot of bad shit in this movie that the movie tries to justify by being like, "No, but he went through bad shit in the war, you see." And like it tries to make the case that, like, unlike World War II, where the World War II veterans came back to decades of economic prosperity, the Iraq and Afghanistan veterans came back to dick. It does kind of tries to be a statement on that, but doesn't do a great job because the Russo brothers don't know how to tell Tom Holland to stop talking. It's really long, really dry, really prolonged. I definitely had a moment this week where it's prior to watching Spider-Man Brand New Day, I went, "Is Tom Holland a bad actor?" Because like he has no chemistry with the girl in this, like none. All of their romantic scenes are like stilted and awkward and uncomfortable. Like I don't buy them as a couple. I don't understand why she's doing drugs with him. Like the movie insists that they're some sort of like lifelong soulmate situation, but like they're just not. There's no romantic sexual tension between them that I'm feeling. And I was like, I think Tom Holland's a bad actor. I think he might be a bad actor.
You know why you feel like there is a connection between him and Zendaya in Spider-Man?
Because
they're actually dating, and he's not, and they're actually together. And
yes,
he's not
this
acting.
was the first movie. It's weird because they've never had chemistry until Brand New Day. I didn't say that in the review, but you're right. This was the first time Zendaya and Tom Holland had chemistry. This movie, this Brand New Day, not this one, but Brand New Day was the first time they had chemistry. You're right, because they're together. You're right. And like
he's not acting.
I believe that they might get together and it might actually feel you already said that. It might actually feel organic. But anyway, this was kind of bad. And I know that this was criticized for being bad, but it was kind of like one of those like it's Tom Holland desperately trying to be like, "See, I can do more than Spider-Man." Not good. It wasn't very good. Anyway, speaking of not good, I'm pretty sure you've got Chaos Walking on there somewhere.
Yeah, that's next.
Oh, I was gonna suggest that you listen to the book, because it's based on a book, and I'd be interested to know if the book's any good because the movie was not.
Well, we'll see if I can do that one day.
I meant to mention it earlier in the week.
As of today, I've only seen the movie, and it was confusing.
It's okay for me. If I can recall correctly, it was one of those. This feels like it's expanded upon and explained better in the book, but it's not being explained here.
Knowing there's a book now, yeah, that's exactly how I would describe it.
Yeah, this is
where
basically,
like I'm left going like, okay, so this is a world where for some reason we can only hear into the thoughts of men.
Yes.
Why?
And
I'm sure in the book
I can't remember
there's an explanation as to why, but in the movie, if there is an explanation, I didn't really I didn't decipher it. It just seems to be that you can hear what's going on in men's head, and like when you can control it, you can like make them real.
Yeah, and like I think it's not all men. If I recall correctly from the book, I think it's just those men, and that's why there's more put to the fact that they were banished to that planet.
All I know is that in the movie, it's like
and the fact that they're insane.
all the men could do it. The woman couldn't do it. And they killed their own women because they drove them insane that the women couldn't do it.
Yeah, there's I know that it eventually leads to like there's an emperor,
which is why the other town has both men and women.
Yeah, this is definitely in the realm of like from what I could read from the book about the book, where it's basically because the movie doesn't give this vibe because it's Tom Holland, but it's basically in the realm of like His Dark Materials or like
like a young adult.
Young adult. Yeah, it's one of those books. So it's a lot of that kind of book logic to it, and yet there's way more to the.
That's what I say now, knowing there's a book. Yes. Absolutely.
Yes, it's one of those words like, yeah, this is probably explained way more and made clearly in the book. Yeah, the Giver. Exactly. Yeah, the Giver.
What did you say? Hunger Games.
Hunger Games.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
His Dark Materials.
To me, more mechanically, because the being able to hear thoughts and being able to utilize that
I just mean in terms of it's a movie version of a thing, which is obviously infinitely more complicated.
Yes, there's more to this that's being explained better.
Percy Jackson.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, there's a whole bunch with the second half which they changed. But yeah, I remember Tom Holland's not good in this either. Like he's kind of not very good in this. I do remember that. Same with Daisy. I think Daisy Ridley is also in this, and she's also not very good in this.
She is, but I didn't realize it was her until like halfway through the movie.
I just remember it's not. I remember the trailer gave me hinky vibe, like bad stuff was gonna happen to her, and then you find out it's a young adult novel, so you're like, oh, so it's gonna get PG-13 at most.
Yeah, like there's the point where they have her captured or whatever, or they take her to the mayor.
I
and
want
like
that, but I'm just
no, but it gives the vibe like he's gonna be like, oh yeah. All women are not allowed to leave and become our concubines.
It does have that vibe.
Like that, it gives that vibe, but it's like no. Instead, it's going to be they're going to murder her kind of thing, and it's like it's just yeah. Knowing that what you've told me now explains a lot.
Right. Yeah, no, it's the number one thing. I'm constantly looking at the best Tom Holland stuff is where it's just his voice, like the spy one. That's the best. I think. Spies Like Us, or like and Spiderman. He's otherwise yet to make like I don't know. I've heard the Odyssey is good, but is he good in the Odyssey, or is he just in a movie that because he's not good in this. He's doing this weird flat kind of, and also it's another one of those movies where
I don't know if it's so much that he's not good in this. In this instance. I'm not going to really say that it's him that's bad. It's just this is bad.
Right. It's funny because, from what I can recall, the Giver comparison is very apt because I think it's another one of those in the book. He's like 12 situations.
I can believe it.
And he's been aged up. Because there's more. That's
what these things always do.
Yeah, because there's more to his abilities. They're new. That's why he is the way he is in this. Is because they're new. And he's been aged up to be like 16, and it's one of those he hits 16 by like there's like 3 books, and by the end of the 3rd book, I'm pretty sure they don't wind up together in the book, from what I can recall, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I just know that at the end of this, he's like in space.
But this was the point when I did this. I don't remember what I did this for, but this was the point when I said it, where I started to feel like Tom Holland wants a franchise that isn't Spider-Man. Like he desperately wants to be part of.
I could see that.
Right, where like he wanted this to be a thing. Like
he wanted to not just he wanted to be more than just Spider-Man.
Yeah, like he clearly thinks this is gonna be at least a 3 movie. Like this movie feels like
spaghetti at the wall.
Yeah, it feels confident that it's gonna be. It wants to be Harry Potter. Like they always want to be Harry Potter.
I don't know with this one that I would have said Harry Potter. This one, I probably would have said he wants to be Hunger Games.
Yeah, no, that's valid. Because by this point, Hunger Games pretty well supplanted Harry Potter as the...
the other one, Maze Runner.
Yeah, but the Maze Runner didn't do
this
well
This came out in 2021, so this was long after any of those.
I guess more meant in terms of its desire to perform financially. But no, you're right, Hunger Games, probably more the Hunger Games than Harry Potter.
Yeah.
It needs to... something needs to be the top dog in the YA... sphere, and this wanted to be it, and it was never going to be it because it's not very
Apparently,
good. It's not a
apparently
very
this
good
was
movie.
based on the. It's a trilogy, the Chaos Walking
Yes,
trilogy,
yes, it is.
and this was based on the Knife of Never Letting
Yeah,
Go.
there's 3 books, and apparently they're quite popular books. Like people who they're quite popular books on par with like book fandom
Yeah,
is weird,
he's
but
12 in the book.
it's on par with Harry Potter. Like the fans of this are big fans of this. Jordan, is that it? Do you have more?
He's the
About
only boy left in Prentice Town.
Prentice Town. Yeah, yeah. The Prentice Town guys are like
I'm reading
nutty.
about the book.
Jordan, is that it?
Yes.
Are you ready for the next thing, Jordan? Jordan, ready for the next? Jordan,
Well, sorry, I'm reading about the book.
you're
Sorry.
still there? Are you there?
I'm incredibly distracted. Sorry, yeah, I'm done with Chaos Walking. What's the next thing? Go.
Next thing. So, this is a movie called Hacksaw Ridge. Just gonna dive right into it. This stars Andrew Garfield, and a thing I realized about Andrew Garfield, I think I said it last week, but it's becoming more and more apparent. That man is effortlessly charismatic. He oozes charisma. He has chemistry. He could have chemistry with a fucking pile of rocks. He's got so much chemistry with the woman in this movie that like you forget how unbelievably boring the first 20 minutes of it is. This is directed by Mel Gibson, and it's about a gentleman. It's a true story, based on a true story about a Seventh Day. I want to get this right. A Seventh Day evangelist. So they do the Sabbath on Saturday instead of Sunday. And this is based on a true story and a real guy. And they've been trying to make this guy's life story into a movie since like the 70s or 80s, like a long ass time. That might not be quite that long, but it's a long time. And basically, he went to war, to World War II, I should say, and he refused to pick up a gun. He absolutely refused to pick up a gun, and he refused to kill people. And he carried a ton of people like by hand. He applied to be a medic in the army, and he carried like I think it's like 12, 13 people, like a lot of people on his back out of what was called Hacksaw Ridge, which was just this ridge where it's exactly where it sounds like they were getting torn up. And he managed to save his entire platoon plus a bunch of other people. And this is a true story. And his one condition on making this movie was that it be accurate. And okay, I want to make sure I get this right, because from what I read, it wasn't, and I thought that was funny. It's the one thing he asked for. Hold on, I just want to make sure I get this right. Yeah, for decades they tried to get this guy's life story. Hold on, make sure I get this right.
While you're doing that, I can mention a news thing, which you didn't mention, which I think is funny. World of Warcraft is officially coming to Dungeons and Dragons.
Really?
They're doing a crossover thing where
Neat.
it's officially.
Neat.
So it's gonna be like actually it, because I have a tabletop had for the longest time a tabletop one for Warcraft, but it wasn't specifically in the Dungeons and Dragons
yeah.
thing. Whereas this one apparently is like they have in the book, they will have specific classes for the classes in World of Warcraft in the Dungeons and Dragons style. Apparently it goes up until level 20 something, which is like Ice Crown Citadel.
Oh, neat.
With the Lich King.
Sorry, they pretty much since the like 60s, they chased after this guy to allow them to make a movie about his life story, and he kept saying no, and though his one request was that his life not be changed, like none of the details be changed, and it had to be accurate. It says The reason he declined that none of them had adhered to his one requirement that it be accurate, and I find it remarkable the level of accuracy and adhering to the principle of the story for this movie. And then the next line in the Wikipedia article is several notable details were changed about his life, and I just thought that was funny because I was like, so I guess they did it.
It was the one thing he asked for.
It was the one thing he asked for. This is directed by Mel Gibson. So the first I'd say 30-ish minutes of it are for me kind of dull because it's setting up his life and his relationship to his wife and all that stuff. When he finally gets to base camp, basic training camp, his sergeant is Vince Vaughn, and this movie's so good that even Vince Vaughn gives kind of a great performance. Like he's kind of the, I don't know what the deal is with drill sergeants and just being funny, but he has a lot of really funny lines where he's screaming at people that are kind of on par with the guy from Full Metal Jacket. They're sort of slightly offensive, so if I make this into a video, I'll put him saying it, not me. But it's pretty funny. And then it gets to the actual war bit where it's war, and it is. There's a reason why you get Mel Gibson. It is brutal. It is brutal and it is violent. There's points where characters you've spent most of the movie getting to know and developing relationships with just get taken out left and right. There's a really epic moment where he has rescued a bunch of people and he's gone back and he's rescued Vince Vaughn. And he's pulling Vince Vaughn along on this cape, and Vince Vaughn is just mowing down Germans. That's fucking sick. The part of this is that he gets arrested for, and I thought this bit was kind of ironic, given that this is based on a guy's real life story. That he is I'm religious and I don't want to kill people, and they arrest him and put him on trial for court-martial for refusing to kill people. And he has a line which I loved, which was it's really ironic that they're putting me on trial for not wanting to kill people. And I'm like, that's true and brilliant. And I'm like, where was I going with that? I found it ironic given how weirdly religious and sensitive about religion America has become, that in this movie most of the people involved treat his religious desires as being weird. And I just thought that was so interesting, where I'm like, yeah, the evangelists control the government now basically, and the world didn't always used to feel that way. And it was weird. I was like, this is such a weird movie to watch in today's day and age. But I was surprised by how much I liked it. Andrew Garfield is really good. The ending of it is really heartwarming when he saves everybody, and yeah, they all are we didn't think much of you, and it turns out you're a really great guy or whatever. Really good. Really enjoyed it. Was really surprised by this. Hacksaw Ridge.
That it?
That is Hacksaw Ridge.
Okay. I don't have a lot to say about this next one.
Good, because I have a lot to say about the Imaginary of Dr. Parnassus.
Have you ever heard of the movie Deconstructing Harry?
I know, but I assume that is about deconstructing Harry.
It was written, directed by, and co-stars Woody Allen.
Oh, it's a Woody Allen movie? Gross. Okay, I'm perfectly willing to skip past this.
And it's just not really
very good.
Yeah,
not
it's
good.
Really long and boring.
Oh my god, that is shocking that a Woody Allen movie would be bad.
I just
note the genuine surprise in my voice.
Just as soon as I heard him, I was like, hey, he's definitely that ant from Ants.
Yeah, no.
That's the only frame of reference I have for him.
Beyond the fact, we won't get into why Woody Allen sucks in real life because we don't have the time. But I watched one of his movies for a video once, and it was awful. I was like, people think he's funny?
Yeah,
he's not funny.
No, he's not funny.
His entire shtick is I imagine if it's anything like I don't remember what it was. But if it's anything like the other Woody Allen movie I've seen, he just plays himself. And
you're neurotic.
He's neurotic and
annoying.
whiny, and you don't I don't believe that any woman would find him attractive, but he writes his own movies, so he always writes himself hooking up with the hottest women. And you're like, the only reason why
But
these
see-
women are into you is because you wrote the movie, Woody Allen.
But see, this one, Justin. So okay, I don't remember who the girlfriend was. I think it was Jennifer Garner.
Why are you talking?
But,
I'm gonna Google the movie that I'm trying to think of.
Jennifer Garner this is her first feature film debut. Is
Really?
this movie?
What year did
Yep.
this come out?
1997.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Annie Hall. That was it. It was Annie Hall. Sorry. Continue on.
So it was. He's a really bad person
Yes.
in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, Woody Allen is just a bad person, so it just makes sense
No, but
that
just
he would be a
generally
bad
in the-
person in the movie.
He wrote himself to be a bad
Yeah,
person.
it's
though,
because he
Justin.
writes his own fucking movies, and he just writes himself into these scenarios that you're like, you wouldn't have.
So
any
like
friends.
he goes to this therapist, in the movie, and like at a certain point you find
Woody
out
Allen
that he's
fans are
been
gonna come for
sleeping.
us for being like, we
He's been
fucking hate
sleeping
Woody
with
Allen.
one of his therapist patients, and then like later in the movie, he's been sleeping with one of his students in college or whatever, who then leaves him when she meets who I'm pretty sure the character is played by Billy Crystal, who is a friend of Woody Allen's character, who snakes his girl. And
course
they
he
end
does.
up getting married, and that's how the movie ends. Is he's like,
Wait, so
You-
Woody
you
Allen doesn't
left
even get
him-
the girl at the end?
no. He's like, you left me for him? Like, why? Why did you do that? I cannot fathom it. I cannot fathom it.
Really, you can't. Yeah, it's because you're a huge narcissist, Woody Allen. And you're like, this is clearly written off of some experience
and then-
of him getting dumped by a girl. I guarantee you.
Well, the idea is he's supposed to be a writer, right? Where he's taken all of the people around him without their permission and used them as characters in his books. And he's supposed to be getting this award at this like the university that he went to. No, the university. Sorry, that he was once expelled from.
Yeah,
And
if it's anything like
and
Annie Hall,
so then by the end of it, he's arrested because he technically kidnaps his kid from his ex-wife to go to this thing.
wow, that
And he's a bad person, and it's really boring. And
that happened with Annie Hall, where like that movie. So it's him writing himself into situations where women who are substantially out of his league pursue him, and you're like, no one would want to be friends with you because you're awful and you complain and you're a neurotic idiot. Trust me, someone who's a neurotic idiot who people don't want to hang out with, you're one of them, and you've written yourself into situations you would never be in.
yeah. There's
Awful.
just a lot of reasons why this movie is unpleasant. But
Awful.
yeah, also technically Tobey Maguire's in like 2 scenes.
Ah, that's the connection. That
Yeah.
makes sense. Does that
Yeah,
seem
I
like
thought he was.
connection?
I thought he was going to be in more of it, but
Oh, Andrew Garfield. Yeah, sorry.
he's like barely in
Oh,
it.
that's okay. I'm pretty sure that the Wikipedia article is just straight wrong on one of mine, but we'll get there.
So yeah, that's deconstructing.
Deconstructing Harry. Yeah, I was not expecting it to be a Woody Allen movie. God, I could talk about how much I dislike Woody Allen all day long. But we don't have time, Joe. We have to talk about the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus. Oh, the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus. So the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus is kind of a strange movie because it is the last movie that Heath Ledger. You know what? Sorry, Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus. Play the trailer. Play the trailer. Okay, now that we've played the wait, give it a beat, for editing, because it's definitely gonna be a YouTube video, and there it is. This was Heath Ledger's last movie, and you were like, I remember watching this and I don't know why. It was because this thing sat in development hell for years and was super weird. And yeah, it was Heath Ledger's last movie. It's the movie he made after The Dark Knight, and he died mid-production. And the actor who or the director, Terry Gilliam, was basically like, we're fucked. Basically, we movie's done. Our lead actor's dead, and they went to Johnny Depp, Colin Farrell, and Jude Law, and they all play him in dream sequences. That's the reason why we've seen this. This movie is so fucking weird. Like, I will say that the visuals are interesting, and the dream sequences where they go into the Imaginarium is interesting, but the writing is and direction is uncomfortable. The implications are uncomfortable. So big part of the plot of this movie is Dr. Parnassus is in competition with someone named Nick, who is the devil, and he has beat him in various competitions over the years and gotten things from him. So Dr. Parnassus is 250 years old, and he lives with Andrew Garfield is in this, by the way. I don't like Andrew Garfield much in this, but he's still very charismatic. But anyway, he is traveling with his little assistant, who is a dwarf, who is played by Vern Troyer of Mini Me fame. He's got a little assistant who is basically like his hype man, is the guy who attracts people. And then he has a daughter who is 15 and about to turn 16. That is a major plot point of this movie. And it is revealed later in the movie that Dr. Parnassus made a deal with the devil that on her 16th birthday, the devil gets the daughter. And when I say gets the daughter, the implication is that he gets the daughter.
No.
And so, Jordan, to be clear, this is one of the Monty Python guys, in case you didn't know who Terry Gilliam is.
Oh, that's disappointing. Yeah, he did Discworld as well.
Yes, he did. So there's a lot. The daughter has a line. She's excited to turn 16. She's like, 16, the age of consent. Yum yum. I don't know if she says yum yum exactly, but she says I turned 16, and that's the age of consent. You know. This is a line in this movie, Jordan. This is a line, and I will maybe give this movie the grace to be like, maybe the Andrew Garfield character is also 15, because she says she's 16 and she's very clearly played by an adult woman. So the plot goes on, and they eventually find the Heath Ledger character who is being hung, and they save him, and he claims to have amnesia, that he doesn't remember who he is, and he winds up staying with Dr. Parnassus and joins their crew because Nick offers Parnassus a new deal that if he gets 5 souls, because part of Parnassus's deal is you bring him into the Imaginarium, and they go through a little dream sequence, and they're offered a choice of like, either you go with Parnassus and you go to heaven, or you go with Nick and you go to hell. And so Nick offers them the deal of first to 5 souls wins. And so he thinks that Heath Ledger's character is part of this. So Heath Ledger is trying to get the carnival to be successful or whatever. And the scenes are kind of jumbled. Like, it seems like what they were gonna do with to the movie's defense, it seems like they were gonna do it because he has stuff written on him, and he seems to be aware of the magic, because he's like, oh, I'm just gonna dip in, and he dips into the magic, and that's one of the times he turns into Johnny Depp, and he has stuff written on him that prevents Nick from taking him. So it seems to have been a thing of like, him and Nick know each other, and maybe there was going to be more with him and Nick, and they didn't get to shoot it because Heath Ledger died. I don't know. But while he's with them, he continually tries to seduce the daughter, who is 15.
The underage daughter.
Who, to remind you all, is 15. And there's a sequence at the end where she finds out about the deal and gets pissed off and runs off and goes into the Imaginarium. He takes her into the Imaginarium, and there's an implication that they sleep together. At least that's what it feels like, because there's a point where they're like in a gondola, and he's like doing up his shirt, and she's like, her shirt's like completely open, and you can see her bra, and she's like fanning herself, and the implication is that they had sex, and she's 16. She's 16. What is wrong with you, Terry Gilliam? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? And then there's a moment they bring in, once they bring in Heath Ledger to help them, there's a moment where he's like, oh, your act isn't modern enough, and so he upgrades it, and the act is now, I don't remember what the girl is doing, but Andrew Garfield is dressed as a woman, lying on his side eating grapes, and Vern Troyer is in blackface. Full bore blackface. Jordan saw the video. It's blackface. Right? You've seen it?
Sure as hell looks like it.
Right? You've seen it. He's seen it. I sent him a clip. It's blackface. And like the actor I felt the worst for, other than maybe Heath Ledger, who died mid-production, is Vern Troyer, because like, I mean, poor guy, how many roles are out there for him? He's standing there and he looks humiliated in blackface. Like and I get maybe they're supposed to be like the character is uncomfortable, but it looks like Vern Troyer is visibly uncomfortable in blackface. He has that look of like, how did I get here? I was mini me in Austin Powers. Like he has that look on his face. Like there's a moment where there's multiple moments. There's multiple times where he says I'm not going to say the slur, but he says the M word involving little people. He's like, yeah, what you need is and he says it more than once, and I can feel him dying every time he says it. He knows that that's not cool and he shouldn't be saying it, but what the fuck, he needs the money. It has that vibe to it, and I felt really bad for him. R.I.P. that poor guy. Like, I felt it was bad. Like, what are you doing? This movie came out in like 2009. It's beyond not okay for him to be blackface. What are you doing? And it's not even like this is a period piece and it takes place during a time where that might be okay. This is present day. It's when that woman goes, I want to adopt that black child. What the fuck is wrong with you, Terry Gilliam? That's not funny. Like, you're a Monty Python guy. That should be funny. It's not funny. It's weird. It's inappropriate. Why is there an entire dream sequence with Colin Farrell lusting after a 16-year-old girl? What is wrong with you, Terry Gilliam? What is wrong with you? Did not like this movie, Jordan. I remember I liked this movie the first time I watched it. I don't like it now. And I don't know why I liked it the first time. Did I miss the fact that she's 16 and it's weird? That he was with blackface
you were
and it's
probably
weird?
16 and
no,
probably didn't
I was
see
19
me.
years old, Jordan. I was well beyond the age where I should have known that wasn't okay. Well, I certainly should have known that blackface wasn't okay.
Yeah.
Awful. Terrible.
Yeah.
Weird. It's a little weird that it's... Kind of would have been better if Dark Knight was his last movie. It's funny because I was on Toon Talk and Alexander was like, oh, but that's a great movie. And I went... I went... 15-year-old girl, and he goes, oh yeah, no, that's, yeah, no. He's like, but there's some pieces involved in it that are like, yeah, there's some sequences in there that look really impressive and are really cool and are really pretty, and you're like, this is really cool looking for 2009, but
it's sandwiched in between
wanting to have sex with an underage girl, betwixt
blackface
and wanting to have sex with a 15-year-old girl. Come at me, comment section. Defend this movie. God, is that... I keep flip-flopping on what the title of this video is going to be. And I don't know. The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, defend this movie. Feels like it needs to be it, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what it is. But fuck, I was having such a bad time. I was like, I'm so uncomfortable. Make this stop. That's it. That's the end. That's the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus. Next. Jordan, I think I'm going to put this on your list. I need to find a document with your list in it.
Okay, so I actually like this one, but it's terribly out of season. I watched 8-Bit Christmas. I did Christmas in July.
Hey, what's more whimsical than Christmas in July?
This one has Neil Patrick Harris, who see last week when I talked about the show that he's from.
He's been Spider-Man twice.
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 I can think of once, which was the show.
Think about it. Talked about it last week. 4. He's one of 4.
Oh, the video game.
There you
Yeah. Right.
There you go.
I'm thinking of shows though, shows and movies.
There you go.
Anyways, 8-Bit Christmas. It's a real basic paint by numbers movie where
Let me guess. Neil Patrick Harris is a bad dad with a traumatic childhood backstory that informs his dislike of Christmas.
No.
Oh.
No, it's actually very sweet.
Oh.
He's a good dad. His daughter wants a cell phone, and he tells her a story relating to his own childhood about the delay of gratification and how it ultimately makes the thing that you want that much sweeter when you finally get it.
All right.
Basically, it's supposed to take place in 2021, and the present day part of the story is 2021, his daughter wants a 12-year-old daughter, whatever, a 12 or 11-year-old daughter wants her own cell phone, and he's like, no, and she's like, but like, I use your cell phone more than you use your cell phone. All my friends have to call your phone to get a hold of me. And he's like, still no. And then he tells her a story about how when he was a kid and 12 years old, now everybody wanted a Super Nintendo Nintendo Entertainment System, rather. Not Super Nintendo, before that. Nintendo Entertainment System.
NES. Not a Super NES, but a NES.
And how then it's this whole, it's kind of like what's a good one of those old Goonies, I guess, or like one of those old movies where it's like it's about the kids.
Oh yeah.
Like kind of like what Stranger Things is emulating, where it's the 80s and it's about the 4 kids in the 80s or whatever.
Yeah, kids on bicycles.
And you kids on bicycles, that kind of time. And so yeah, it's Neil Patrick Harris narrating about different portions and different areas. So like
when they were on bicycles.
There was the rich kid who was the one kid in town who had an NES, and he would let people come in every Saturday and watch him play. And so there's a point where he's on the porch, and I'm like, before the scene even plays out, I'm doing it where I'm like, you can come in, you can come in, you can come in, and then the scene plays out, and it's literally him on the porch going like, and I choose you and you and you and you and you, but not you. I mean, it's like I said, pretty paint by number, where except I do appreciate the ending, but it's a paint by number thing where you find out that the Boy Scouts that they're all part of, the prize that they're going to give out to the number one person is an NES system, but due to the rich kid hurting the family dog by accident, his parents start a campaign of like, oh, video games cause violence and injuries and stuff, and his dad is like the doctor, like that, like from South Park, where it's like the doctor was like, video game or the V-chip guy. It's like that, but for video games. And to which Neil Patrick's hair, like when he's doing the voiceover at one point, he's like, he kept talking about how he was like a doctor. He was a podiatrist, and it's like, or something like that, something like that. It's like, it's really funny. And it gets to the end, and it's Christmas Day, and the daughter's like, so how did you? Your parents didn't want to buy you, like your grandpa and grandma didn't want to buy you the console. The competition didn't end up giving it. It gave you the dictionaries, or the encyclopedias or whatever. How did you get the console? And like, she's fully invested in this story now, and it's really cute. And he's like, well, so just hold on, we're gonna get there. The story has a good ending, I promise you. And he's like, so it ends up Christmas Day, and I open the present, and meanwhile, his dad has gone like out of his way to give his sister a Cabbage Patch doll, because his dad, his explanation is like, do you want your sister not to get what she wants? She's going to be unpleasant for everybody. And so like, there's this double standard where Neil Patrick Harris's character is like, Would I have liked my dad to go on above and beyond to get me everything I wanted, like he did for my sister? Sure, but and so it sets up this thing where it's like it's Christmas Day, and he goes and he opens the box, and it's something completely unrelated, and it's not the Nintendo, and he's incredibly disappointed. And then they notice this package, which is from his eccentric rich uncle, and he's like, my eccentric rich uncle who lives in Japan and is rich.
Well, that's convenient.
And he goes and he opens the package, and I'm like, oh, that's convenient. That's going to be how he gets it. And he opens it, and it's not the Nintendo. It's a Japanese light bright, which has like
That's
he's
funny.
like, I didn't get it. And the daughter's like, what? Well then, like, how did you get it? And meanwhile, earlier in the movie, they had this whole scene where they tried to do this heist where they were going to be on a field trip. So like all of its friends were like, so if we all pool our money together, we can sneak off and buy our own one, and yada yada yada. So they keep doing these red herrings. I'm like, okay, so that's how you get it. Oh, okay, so that's how you get it, right? We get to this final scene where it's like we're like, surely this is the moment where we get it. Like even us, the people watching it, are like, surely this is where they gets it, right? And it's like, no, he doesn't. And you're left going like, well, okay, well, how the fuck does he get it? And then his dad is like, because earlier in the movie he had him cleaning up the poop of the animal or whatever, and he's like, go outside and finish cleaning behind the shed, and Neil Patrick Harris's character is like, but Dad, it's Christmas, and he's like, do as I say, son. It's the '80s. I'll hit you. And Neil Patrick Harris, kid version of him, goes outside and he sees his dad has built, like overnight, has built him this really cool treehouse with all the lights on it, and it's like this gigantic thing. And and the daughter's like, oh, okay, so you went up into it, and the Nintendo system was in there, right? And that's when Neil Patrick Harris's character is like, no, I didn't get the Nintendo system that year. Dad ended up later being like, you can save up money for it and spend your own money on it, and that's okay. And I got it later myself, and my dad and I bonded over this treehouse, and you find out shortly after that it's implied that in the present time his dad has passed away. Um, and you find out that like a bunch of the things in the house, because his dad at one point he's like, you gotta when Neil Patrick Harris is up in the treehouse and stuff, like, you got to initial your name into any wood project you've done, and so he did. And then later he's like, the daughter's like, I get it, you didn't get instant gratification, but you got something that you could bond with, like with Grandpa over, that like formed a deep connection for the rest of your life. And he's like, yeah, it did. And like you see, like, as it cuts to various wooden things throughout the house that has both of their initials on it, and it's like, oh,
They bond.
that's really sweet. That's
really
cute.
Nice.
It's a really cute, cheesy, like, paint by numbers Christmas movie that was really nice in July.
Nice. Christmas in July. Troy, is that it for Christmas in July?
That's it for Christmas in July. And that's it for Rapid Fires.
Is it rain? Oh, it must be raining. I can hear water dripping.
Probably raining then.
Let's find out.
Yeah, that's it. That's it for Rapid Fires.
It's live on the air. Check the weather, Jordan. Right now.
No, let's not do that. And you should just jump on into the sponsorships.
We're checking the weather, Jordan.
We don't have time for that. We're at.
We didn't do sponsorships this week. Whoops.
We're at 2 hours and 33 minutes according to my thing.
Huh. I don't know what that sound is.
Doesn't matter.
I mean, it might matter. Anyway,
you might hear my fan.
I don't know. Anyway, my next thing is Jordan.
So this episode is brought to you by.
No, we missed it. We're already like 3 movies in, Jordan. I completely forgot to do the sponsorship section. Oh well.
Could do it here.
Nah, it's fine.
All right. So first half scene. What you got there? What you got?
First half scene, Jordan, is.
I'm trying to amp myself up because I'm getting sleepy. What you got?
It's a movie.
Yes.
It's a movie, Jordan. It's a movie called. Sorry, it's really distracting. It's a movie called um,
I can't hear it from over here, which tells me it's not rain.
I'm hoping that's not one of our pieces of equipment. Um, sorry, it's time for to join entertain the audience while I go investigate what that is.
Okay. So
Just for like a minute. I will be right back.
Spider-Man was a lot of fun. I had a good time with it, and he really does do a good job of being in the mask and emoting. Um, None of the characters really divert attention for too long. I don't really know what else to talk about. And he's back. He's back. Okay, good.
It is in fact absolutely pissing out there. The Google weather alert lied. It's not sunny. I don't know what drugs Google is on. Anyway, my first thing. So okay. Sometimes what a thing is so influential, and in terms of its pop culture influence, that it influences so many things that by the time you see an adaptation of that thing, it becomes derivative. You're like, I've seen this 100 times in 100 different places, to the point that I'm gonna describe this vaguely, and you're gonna tell me if it sounds familiar to you, Jordan. Jordan, there is a empire, and in this empire, Jordan, there are multiple factions. There is the evil faction, the obviously evil faction, and there is the good faction. And the evil faction, Jordan, maintains control of the main power source or the main mode of power. The imperialists, who are part of the universe, they side with the bad guys, and the bad house, Jordan, screws over. Jordan, you're not stopping me. This is inside for me. The bad house, Jordan, tricks the good house into a lull sense of security and assassinates them.
So what you're describing sounds like a combination between Star Wars and Harry Potter.
Really? You didn't hear any Game of Thrones in there?
No, I choose to forget that show because that show is basically just Harry Potter.
Game of Thrones. I don't know that I would have made that comparison. This is Dune.
Different houses? That's like the Slytherin houses.
Different. I said different factions because I didn't want to be like different houses. But like, House Stark.
Yeah, but like House Stark is just Gryffindor.
I guess. I suppose. I mean, that's a family thing as opposed to like a school thing, but I guess I can loosely say but really, honestly, Game of Thrones came first. So if anything, Harry Potter is Game of Thrones. I mean, the books, not the show. Anyway, this is Dune. Dune Part 1. And the thing about Dune is the original Dune book came out in the 60s. And
so it's plagued with racism?
Not a little, yeah. But everything science fiction you've ever seen is related to Dune. Every idea, every concept, every story beat all comes from Dune. A shit ton of this is just Game of Thrones, but in space. The Harkins are the not the Starks.
The Lannisters?
They're the Lannisters. The Harkins are the Lannisters. The good ones are Atreides. The Atreides are the Starks. The Paul Atreides is both I forget the son that gets killed at the Red Wedding, but he's that Stark, and he's Bronn Stark because he can see into the future. He has powers to see into the future. They call it the Voice. But like it's the kind of like everything in this is so by the numbers, but this is the thing that invented the numbers. So like it's also one of those adaptations which it says the words as though you should know what they are. So like I'm just gonna say some of the things that it acts as though I should know. So a Ben Gesserit, or Jordan the hold on, the Getty Prime, Stilgar, a planetologist. The planetologist is the Fremkit. There's a bunch of them where like they use a bunch of like vague science fiction, like it's part of the Imperium. He's the emperor of the
The
Imperium.
magistrate.
Yeah, the magistrate. It's words like that. The emperor is just the emperor from Star Wars. There's so much Star Wars took so much from this. The plot of it is they go to they're basically the Harkins have been in charge of spice, which is if you don't know what spice is in the Dune universe. Drugs. It is both drugs where it's a hallucinogenic drug that makes you trip, but is also the thing that allows for space travel. So that's
definitely where Critical Role got that from.
Yeah, absolutely. So they both use it to do instantaneous space travel, and it is also a drug that you do. Yeah, there's also an episode of South Park where they refer to spice. It's the spice. It comes from this, and it is an absurdly boring and dull movie. Like I don't just mean in like terms of it's awfully paced. Like it's slow. The beginning is slow as fuck. There's like multiple scenes of characters just being like, and these are the Harkins, and the Harkins do this, and then they do this, and they own this, and this is the loyalty to that, and this is what this is, and this is exposition. It's just vomiting exposition. It's one of those movies where, much like the other thing, I feel like maybe if I read the book comes across as being very dense, and there being a lot of information.
I mean, to me, it just comes across. It feels similar to a la Lord of the Rings, where you're trying to condense a very big thing into a very small thing, and it doesn't.
But it's still a very long thing. It's still like 2.5 hours long. But it's
Well, like that's the neutered version,
right?
So
exactly.
It makes you hesitate and go like, well, if that's the neutered version, what's the non-neutered version?
Lord of the Rings is a very apt comparison, but it's so boring. Like it's really boring.
That's why I compare it to Lord of the Rings.
Really, but it's not. But Lord of the Rings at least looks visually interesting, and some of the characters are fun. Huh?
I meant the book.
Oh, the book. No, I'm talking the movie. The movie is real. Dune, the movie, is absurdly boring. It's really. It's not even just like the actual movie itself is boring, which it is boring. It's boring in the same way that Lord of the Rings is, but at least the Lord of the Rings looks visually interesting, and the characters are kind of fun. Every character does that thing where they deliver all their lines like this, where everything is super serious and low energy, and everyone looks like they're about to fall asleep every time they deliver a line, or they zap the charisma out of everyone. They even zap the charisma out of Jason Momoa, who sounds like he's so fucking bored. Like, not only is the acting boring, bored, and subdued, all of the costumes look dull and muted. Like they're all like varying degrees of gray and brown. The movie mostly takes place in a desert, so like everything is muted, and most of the time it's in like covered in sand and dirt and hidden in sandstorms, and all the characters have like no energy. Like there's a couple of action sequences in it that look like there's a bit where he has a vision where it's him fighting a bunch of guys. That looks cool. That looks like it's going to be in a later movie because it's a vision of the future. And I'm like, okay, I guess this looks kind of cool. But, like, none of the weapons are interesting. It's all boring. Like, I'm like, if this is what influenced science fiction, people made this interesting. Because this is so fucking boring. I was bored. I was bored the first time I watched it.
Would you say you were bored?
I was bored the second time I watched it. I just kept going, it reminds me of Game of Thrones. But like,
not a compliment,
right? But for me, that's not a compliment. That is a negative.
It's just generally not a compliment.
No, it's the people who like Game of Thrones that might be a compliment.
Yeah, they're wrong.
But for me, and so I could see, because Jake does like Lord of the Rings. I could see why he would like this, because this to me is the science fiction equivalent to Lord of the Rings. But like, he insists the second one is good. I remember the first time I watched this, it was on the recommendation of a family.
A person
I know. And I kind of had to bend over backwards to be like, this is all right, but like now I'm like, it's so dull. It's so dull. And it feels like this is a book I maybe would have read when I was in high school. Like this, like I were in like a class and I would have been kind of into it in school. But like, yeah, I don't know. unless they shove some octane into the next one. It's really boring. Anyway, next. That was Dune. I still have
Okay.
to watch the second one. I told Jake I would.
My first have seen comes from 2001.
Space Odyssey?
It's Cats. No,
Oh.
no, it comes from the year 2001.
Oh.
Cats and Dogs. It's around that same time that Spy Kids, the first one, comes out.
Yes, it does.
This exists because Stuart Little was so popular.
Really?
That's what it says.
Interesting.
If I go down to
I believe it.
where is it? Production. Yeah. Basically, they wanted to spy shenanigans of cats and dogs when humans aren't looking at them. Yeah, no, this was following the success of Columbia Pictures' adaptation of Stuart Little. Warner Bros. Became more, into the idea, basically. Especially because the main bad one is a big white poofy cat.
Who looks suspiciously like. Now that you say that, yeah, it's a big white cat that looks suspiciously like the cat from Stuart Little. Now that you've said that, it makes sense.
And yeah, so the main dog, the little puppy dog, is played by Tobey Maguire. Jeff Goldblum is there for some reason.
Oh, sorry. Real quick, real pause. I forgot. In Dune, Oscar Isaac is the dad. He is Spider-Man 2099. That's the connection to Spider-Man. I keep forgetting to say that. Anyway, continue. Go on. Cats and Dogs.
Not a very good movie.
No, I remember really liking this.
I remember loving it as a kid, but I also remember loving Spy Kid, and now it's Spy Kids, and that movie makes me cringe.
Yeah, I remember watching this in theaters. I
absolutely remember having a great time with it. I also didn't realize that the older mentor dog is Alec Baldwin.
It is, yeah. Yeah, it is. The girl dog is also
the girl dog is Susan Sarandon.
That was it. Yeah.
Charlton Heston is in it.
Yeah, right. I forgot. I think it's one of his last movies he did. I'm pretty sure it's one of the last ones.
Michael Clark Duncan.
This is very much that period of time when it comes to talking animal movies. The world couldn't decide what it wanted to do with talking animal movies. It couldn't handle the moral implications of torturing an animal enough to get it to perform on camera and having it be a real animal, and the obvious safety, with working with animals. So they decided for a period of time to do CGI animals, and this is the beginning of that, and it looks bad.
It's not all CG. There are
Isn't the cat all CG?
I just know that there is puppets.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's puppets. Oh, okay, fair enough. It's not a real cat. That much I know for sure.
Because there's a list of puppeteers here. I don't know who does what.
No, sorry, I lied. I think the dog. They do use some real dog stuff in this because
the dog. I believe there's some real stuff.
Yeah.
The cats, I believe, are all either CG or puppets.
Yeah, I know that the main evil cat is predominantly CGI, not a real cat. It's not a real cat.
No, CG / puppeteer.
I don't think that's the difference between this and Stuart Little. Stuart Little actually used a real cat. This does not.
Yeah, I mean, basic loose plot. You got the dogs, which, overthrew the cats.
Whenever they're like
overthrew the cats. No, it's not that they're saying that the people that like cats are evil. They're saying cats are evil.
Yeah, I know. I resent that. Cats are nice. I like cats. I think.
No, they're lying to you, Josh.
I think a better sequel to this.
They're all evil.
They made a sequel to this and it's bad, but I think a better sequel to this.
They made 2 sequels.
There's 2 sequels? I knew that there was one.
Technically, there's Revenge of Kitty Galore, which is a direct sequel, and then there's Cats and Dogs 3: Paws Unite, which is a standalone thing.
Never heard of it. But I think the second one.
It's a straight to DVD. It's a straight to DVD from 2020.
Cats
so
are. That's sort of like in All Dogs Go to Heaven 2, where they were like all dogs go to heaven, and the cat is the devil. And I'm like, I resent that. I've dealt with a lot of very sweet cats. I think in the second one, they should have had it where the agency is now a merged agency, and now the cats and dogs are being forced to work together. I think that would have been kind of fun. And then you bring back the bad guy from this one, who's like, cats and dogs can never work together. And then you have like a Men in Black style thing. I think it'd be kind of a fun movie.
I just know that one of the Ninja Cats is Billy West.
Is it? Yeah, I think this is one of the first movies he did. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. I remember hearing something about him in this because
Yeah.
he does like foreign voices.
All I can say is that
What's my Spider-Man
this
about?
movie had a budget of 60 million and it had a box office of 200.7
Pretty good.
million. So it did pretty dang good.
That did pretty good. See,
Uh,
I remember a 2D animated show like that's cats and dogs and they're spies. And I've never been able to find it. So I'm going to do it now. Internet, sleuth this for me. It's worked before.
yeah, I only know that there's two sequels. So, um, I mean, maybe if I look at Cats and Dogs
No,
Disintegration.
I don't think it's cats and dogs. I think it's just a similar premise and it's a different franchise. I've never been able... And I'm not even 100% convinced that it's real. Jordan, is that
Yeah,
it
I
for
don't
cats
know.
and dogs?
That's it for Cats and Dogs, and as you etc.
Put my pin on. Okay. What's my second thing, Jordan?
Are you sure
Oh,
you're not
yes.
thinking of Cat Dog?
I am not thinking of cat dog. Jordan, my second thing. This is one that I think you'd like. This maybe next time we do a musical episode, you should do this. This is Tick Tick Boom. Jordan, that was an appropriate enough reaction. Let's do this again. Tick Tick Boom.
Boom.
Nailed it. Anyway, this is once again Andrew Garfield continuing to just prove that Andrew Garfield has endless charisma. He has endless charisma and he has chemistry with every person he's in a scene with. This movie's really good. This is about the guy who created Rent. His name is Jonathan Larson. This is about his life, sort of leading up to him writing Rent. It's about a period of time where he wrote. What do I don't want to get that. He wrote he was in the middle of basically writing a space opera kind of musical. I'm stalling, hoping the name comes to me, and it's not. I only want to mention it because it's funny. That's it. Superbia, and it's basically like 1984 space like opera shit. And this it takes place in the 90s. So the big opening number is a song called 3090. So he's turning 30 in 1990. It takes place. It starts in October or January of 19. I think it was January of 1990. It was before I was born. It was like a couple of months before I was born, and the movie is basically about him writing this workshop, while his girlfriend gets an offer to a job in the Berkshires, somewhere really fancy, and his friend who is gay, is an
Is
actor.
him being gay relevant?
Yes, because it is revealed later on that he has AIDS, that he has HIV or AIDS, one of the two, and
Okay.
that's what informs the eventual writing of Rent, because that's what Rent is about. Rent is about people who have AIDS. Um, and
I just thought it was about renting something.
yeah, it is about renting something, but part of the renting something is one of the characters has it's about the AIDS crisis,
Mm.
and you could see like the real life story. That's what informed that musical, and the tragedy of this story is that he died at the age of 35 from like a brain aneurysm and never got to see the success of Rent. And this movie is very much about the pursuit of I liked this the first time, but I really identified with this time because it's about a guy who's going into his 30s, who is very rudderless, has no direction in life, and doesn't really know. He knows he has his passion, which is his ability to create musicals and write music and create art, but the world is telling him that he's too old and he's missed his window of opportunity to be successful at this, and he needs to basically become an adult. And the people around him who who were his allies are all kind of falling off. Again, the friend who he works for an advertising company and is basically moved on from being an actor. The girlfriend is going to move to the Berkshires or whatever. And yeah, as somebody who maybe went through that, I definitely relate to like you have this what you can see is a thing that you know is lightning, and if you could just bottle it, if you could just like get it in front of the right people, you know it can be great, and you know it could be good, and you know that it has the potential to be incredible. And there's a bit where he's presenting to a bunch of people in a class, and Stephen Sondheim sees his musical, and he's like, "It's good," and it just proves that yeah, man, you just gotta like stick with it, and like don't abandon your passion. And his tragedy is that he never got to see the success of that passion, and it's quite sad. And the movie's kind of cool because this musical, began its life as kind of like a concert. So it would be like Jonathan Larson would sing the songs and play piano, and there's a backing band. And so the movie cuts between him doing the performance on stage with the band as it was originally designed and created, and the narrative. And whenever he's on stage, the movie's really cool and really clever. The music is different. So when he's on stage performing with the people, it sounds like he's performing live. He's singing live on set. And when it cuts to the non-diegetic musical numbers, like there's one where they're doing a musical number that's basically an homage to Sunday in the Park with George, where it's Sunday morning at the Moondance Diner, and it's got there's a bunch of famous Broadway people who show up. The guy from Hadestown shows up. Lin-Manuel Miranda, who directs this, by the way, it's his directorial debut. He's like a chef. It's got two of the Schuyler sisters. Maybe there's a third one, but there's definitely two of them. That the sound design is different. It sounds like it's being dubbed over, but when they're doing the concert bits, it doesn't. And like my interpretation of it, because when they're doing the big final song and he's playing at this concert, it cuts to the different people in his life, and it cuts to the one friend who has AIDS. And my interpretation of that scene is that that's him in heaven, like that's him performing in heaven for his friend who has died of AIDS. Like that's what my interpretation of it is. The music is good. I really like the music way better. 3090 is still my favorite song from it, but I really dug the music way more this time than I did the first time. And another incredible factoid about this is it's the first time Andrew Garfield has ever done a musical. It's the first time he's ever sung on camera. Like, he's not a professional singer. He doesn't have any professional training. He sounds incredible. He's really good. Like, vocally, he's quite strong in this. I was really impressed by like his vocal performance, because what is good acting if your guy can't sing, right?
Ring, 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 ring. Hello, Lion King.
Right? Exactly. Was there anything else interesting about this? Oh, when I talked about Dear Evan Hansen, and I was like, that movie doesn't do a good thing. I watched a really good video about taking the medium of the theater and putting it on screen, and how some things just don't translate. And
yeah, we've said that before.
Yeah, Dear Evan Hansen. This is an example of one that it's a 3-person show. I would love to see the original show that this is based on, because it's a 3-person show. There's only ever 3 characters. There's Jonathan Larson, there's his girlfriend, and then there's the friend who's gay. And they sing the songs predominantly. It doesn't have an extended cast. So this does that. This blows out. There's a bunch of extras. It increases it. It does a great job. And maybe that's because Lin-Manuel Miranda is coming from theater. He's got that theater experience. He knows how to make something a bit bigger. I'd be curious to see how you stage these musical numbers on stage with only 3 people, because the musical number in the diner, there's like 20-30 extras. Like, that's a full ensemble. So I'm like, how do you do, like, there's like unlike Dear Evan Hansen, contrasted to that, where a lot of those musical numbers are like one person on stage. These aren't like mostly 3-piece numbers. Like Merrily We Roll Along, a lot of that plays 3-piece numbers. a lot of these songs are ensemble pieces. So I'd be interested to hear like how you strip that down to a 3-piece. Like I'd be so interested to see how this strips. There's a lot of scenes in this where I'm like, oh yeah, no, I see the moment where this would be in the play. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'd be so interested to see how they stage this. But yeah, you would like this. You would definitely enjoy this. And it's got Andrew Garfield in it. He's the Spider-Man. Moving on.
Those are your final thoughts?
Those are indeed my final thoughts.
Okay. My second half scene is it has John Mulaney in it, Spider Pig in it.
Spider Pig.
The voice of him in it.
Yes, yes it does.
And this is Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. This movie is fantastic,
so
and anyone who says otherwise can shut their goddamn mouth.
It's the best movie in the Shrek franchise. I maintain it.
Yeah.
It's the only one I would qualify as being a good movie.
And it's made or directed or something, or made or the animation or something. It's got some connection to Spider-Man other than it having Spider-Man in it.
I think it's the same studio that did the animation, I'm pretty sure. But it's gorgeous. I maintain it's stunningly animated, beautiful animation. Its take on anxiety is real and visceral. The bad guy is incredible. I love that he's death is an inevitability. He's never really the bad guy.
It was announced the film would be helmed by Bob Persichetti. I don't know if I said that right. Head of story of the first film and co-director of Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse.
Ah, interesting.
So yeah, that's why the animation feels similar.
It's a movie good you forget it's the second one.
I mean, yeah, it's technically a sequel, but you could totally just watch this one.
You could just watch this one, never having seen the first one. Makes no difference.
Like I would actually go so far as to say that in terms of the I don't remember time. I don't even remember timeline how it works, but like in terms of the timeline credibility of it, the first Puss in Boots movie, I believe, is supposed to be a prequel, which takes place before he meets Shrek.
Yes.
And then this technically is after he meets Shrek.
Yes, it is.
Because Shrek is one of his past lives.
Yes, it is.
And then at the end of it, obviously, he's returning to far, far away to go and find Shrek, which hopefully will lead into the next Shrek movie. Where like they don't just aren't just around each other and like it's partway through or something.
It doesn't seem to be in the trailer for that fifth one. I don't know that he is, but like this is prettier than that by like again cavernous margin. Like this movie raised the bar for DreamWorks movies for me, and like they've mostly met them. They haven't really had any stinkers since this. No strong stinkers. Like they took this art style and they put it. The bad guys looks this good. That fucking Forgotten Island one looks like it's in the same art style as this. That also looks pretty.
Yeah, I mean, and then that's not even just mentioning. I think that the story is really good. The story is
phenomenal. Acting is good.
Little Jack Horner or whatever, Big Jack Horner.
Big Jack Horner.
He's hilarious with the John Mulaney.
You can tell John Mulaney is having a ton of fun playing this character.
Oh yeah, and you can tell that he definitely had some influence on the humor as well.
Oh, for sure,
because it definitely has his style in there. When you've got the version of what's the
Jiminy Cricket?
That's it. Thank you. Where he's like, you're an irredeemable monster.
You're
die.
What took you so long?
It's a great
line. Very funny.
And then he comes back in the end, and it's great. This movie's great.
Perro is a severely It's weird. Like this character is like an anti-merchandisable movie, but I just can't believe Perro is not a more popular character because he's so
the dog.
Good.
You mean? Yeah.
Perro.
Dog. Yeah. This had a budget of between 90 to 110 million. And its box office was 484.3 million.
Small success. It was a smaller film. They didn't think that, like, honestly,
that's a fairly good success actually.
You can no, but I mean that its budget's very small. This was very small for DreamWorks. It didn't really get the push that like a Minions or like a Toy Story would.
Right, but it still made like 4 times the budget. So
but yeah, and it won an Oscar, I think.
I'm sure that's true, but
I
I'm
think
too
did it win the
lazy to
Oscar? Yeah,
confirm.
pretty sure it won the Oscar.
It was nominated for Best Animated Feature at the Academy Awards, the Golden Globes, the Critic Choice Awards, and
Maybe
the
it didn't
British
win. It was
Academy
definitely
Film.
nominated.
But it does. I don't specifically see
I
anything
can't
about
remember.
it win.
I can't remember. No, maybe it didn't win though. But it's definitely nominated. Oscar nominated.
Should
Yeah,
have won if it didn't.
definitely. Yeah. Incredible.
It
Incredible
won
movie.
Outstanding Achievement for Editorial in an Animated Feature Production at the Annie Awards, and it won Outstanding Achievement in Storyboarding in an Animated Feature Production at the Annie Awards.
But yeah, it
was nominated
just
for a lot,
shows
though.
that a kid, like, to me, it's the kind of anime movie where, like, yeah, it could be a high energy, frenetic. That action sequence with the giant is incredible. It's so beautiful. It's pretty. It looks good. It's fluid. It's easy to follow, easy to understand, and it can have a little bit of depth and be about PTSD and about anxiety. It can be both of these things. It can have themes. It can be about stuff, and it can basically
Nuance.
be right nuance. We can teach the kids to be smarter, better, faster.
More engaged with
We
storytelling.
can teach media literacy. Only you can teach
Bring
your kids
bring
media
back
literacy.
media literacy.
Hashtag bring back media
Hashtag
literacy.
resurrect it from the dead. Man, this was 4 years ago that this came out. It's already that old.
Animation takes a while, Jordan. Jordan, is that
Jesus,
it for
Jesus H
Puss
Christ.
and or Boots?
Puss in Boots, The Last Wish.
And
Yes.
or Boots. Puss and or Boots.
No, Puss in Boots, not and or.
And or. He could or could not be wearing
Nobody
boots.
wants to talk about and or, Justin.
And or. And
That's
over.
Puss in Boots. That's the last have seen.
First.
Oh, and I am gonna warn you. My second have not seen. I don't remember much of, so we probably won't be talking about it very long.
All right, that's okay. Jordan, my first half. Okay, so here's the deal, right? I picked this because it said that Shamik Moore was in it. I watched this. He plays a character on the Wikipedia. I tried Googling it. I tried finding out when this character shows up. I tried to figure out whether it was like a minor character.
Maybe he was in a deleted scene.
I don't know. He doesn't seem to be in this. And it was too late to pivot, so I watched it anyway. Pivot!
Sorry, years of
too
watching
late.
Friends.
It was too late to pivot. So this is Samaritan. And Jordan, this movie has is complicated for me because on the one hand, it's very bad and the acting is very, very bad. But on the other hand, the concept of it, if done with heroes that were real and not made up, then okay, so this is the plot of this. So this takes place in Granite City, and there are two superheroes.
Granite like the stone?
Yes. There is Nemesis, and there is... Oh my god. I knew I was going to forget the name. Samaritan. There's Samaritan. Samaritan and Nemesis. And they are brothers. The movie says they're twin brothers, but they don't look anything alike. But the movie says they're twin brothers. And their parents get killed as kids, and so somehow they both get superpowers, and one of them becomes a villain and one of them becomes a hero, and they fight each other, and then one final battle, Nemesis creates a magic hammer that can kill Samaritan, and Samaritan and Nemesis both disappear, and it cuts to 15 years later or whatever, and there's now a little kid, and the little kid becomes friends with Sylvester Stallone, and it's hinted, or he suspects that Sylvester Stallone might be Samaritan, and Sylvester Stallone saves him from a bunch of thugs, one of which is Moises Aries, Rico from Hannah Montana. One of them is Rico from Hannah Montana in purple dreadlocks with grill and tattoo, Jordan.
Is this live action or animated?
This is live action.
Oh, so that's horribly offensive. Got it.
Yeah. Well, I think he might be Hispanic, so it might not be horribly offensive, but it felt offensive nonetheless. And there's a point. The kid needs money because his mom is poor. So he joins a gang with Rico from Hannah Montana, and Rico from Hannah Montana works for another guy who is crazy and wants to be Nemesis, the bad guy. So he finds Nemesis's hammer and puts on a version of the Nemesis mask, and he attempts to cause disruption, like anarchy in the city, because he thinks that's what Nemesis was trying to do. And there's a really funny part where I don't understand why they keep casting this poor guy in roles where he's supposed to be tough or taller than someone. Like it's very similar to, remember in Ender's Game where he's supposed to be taller than Ender and he's not, and there's the bit where he's supposed to be squaring up to him, and Ender is just as tall as him.
Yeah.
This happens in this movie where he's like, "What'd you say, man?" And he stands up to him, and the kid's 13 and he's taller than him, and you're like, why did you not?
With Ender's Game in particular, it made no sense because Ender was supposed to be like a little guy. So like when he does like the kick or whatever, the thing upwards, which makes him fall back, it makes his brain and his nose go into his brain. That works because he's at a lower angle.
Yeah. So you're like, he's the same height as you. What are you doing? So anyway,
he doesn't really seem like as much of a threat when he's the same size as you.
Sylvester Stallone was really invested in this because he produces it and stars in it, and his production company paid for it. So very long story, very, very short. The Sylvester Stallone, they do that. He's the grumpy older guy, mentor character. He's a young kid. They become friends movie. You know that movie?
Mm-hmm.
It's that movie. Mm-hmm. Then the bad guys, they run him over, and they think he's dead, and they discover that he's actually alive, and so they realize he's a superhero, whatever. And for the entire movie, the kid just assumes he's Samaritan, and the bad guys are all like beating him up or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, you're the good guy. You know, you got to save the day. You're the good guy. You're Samaritan. You're the good guy." And he goes, "Everyone keeps saying that I'm the good guy," and he starts to yell, and it's a pretty good yell. He's like, "I'm not the good guy. I'm the bad guy." And it turns out that he's not Samaritan. He's actually been Nemesis the whole time. And Samaritan did actually die. Nemesis killed him. And
but he's been trying to be good, and now he snaps and he goes and murders them all.
He gave up being Nemesis because he realized that being human is a balance, and there's this weird lesson about there being a balance. And the bad guy's like, "Oh, I knew that there was this evil plan for you to blow up the power plant the whole time." And there's this implication that like the Nemesis and Samaritan have this relationship that like was a bit more nuanced, but there's no explanation given to it because this movie doesn't have the time, budget, or real estate to do such a storyline. And like Sylvester Stallone is okay, but I'm watching this being like, this is like a D grade movie that he's too famous to be in. You won Oscars for Rocky. What are you doing in this? And it's like there's a lot of great ideas, like the twist that he's the bad guy, that he's Nemesis, is honestly a good one that deserves to be in a better movie, like about actual like superheroes you recognize. Like there isn't really a lot of thought put to the superhero part of it. Like he didn't really need to be a superhero. He could have just been like a gangster thug and it would have been the same movie effectively. Like him being a superhero doesn't add anything to the movie. And Shameik Moore wasn't in it, even though Wikipedia said he was. There's one black character, and it's not Shameik Moore. I clicked on it, unless he's another actor who also has the name Shameik Moore. But when I clicked on it, it said it was that Shameik Moore. But there's like one black character in this, and he's really, really tall. And I know what Shameik Moore looks like, and it didn't look like him. So anyway, that's Samaritan. I guess I move my energy for my final thing.
Okay. So my first have not seen is called Pawn Sacrifice, which I'm pretty sure you've done on here before.
I have
Insert
done
scene
it.
here.
I have done it on here before. Yeah.
So now that we've inserted that scene and heard all about what Justin has to say about it, um,
Go, Jordan. What do you think
Tobey
about
Maguire's an asshole.
He's a total prick in this. It's one thing I
But
like about
like,
this movie. I like that it never, there's never a moment of like, oh no, but he's just misunderstood. Like, no, from the moment he's a kid, he's a complete ass, a complete prick. Does this show the actual guy at the end? Remind me. Does it actually show the end?
yes, I believe it does.
It shows
Yeah.
it like them ushering him off the plane, right?
I think so.
Yeah, yeah.
Pretty sure.
I
I don't know. I don't have a lot of.
I just
don't-
appreciated that the movie went. Maybe we went too far. Was it worth exploiting this man's clear mental illness for
just to have him beat the Russians.
just to have him be good at chess? Like,
Just to have him beat the Russians at chess.
he moved some pieces a little quite well. Like, was it worth the mental anguish you kind of put him through? It's debatable. It was right. I also just think it's kind of wild. It's another one of those ones where when you consider that this is a real guy and you can find clips of him, Tobey Maguire does a good job of playing him. He was that. He was that. The way he's presented in this movie, he was that. But like, just when you watch it, you're like, man, if he existed today, they'd give him a podcast. Like, he'd be on Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan would be like, you know what?
Whether they gave him one or not, he would have one, and he would be Ben Shapiro.
Right? The wildest part is when his mother or his sister, he's saying all the anti-Semitic conspiracy, and his sister's like, he's Jewish. Yeah, yeah.
We're Jewish.
It reminds me of Stephen Miller saying all the anti-Jewish conspiracies, and like, you're like, he's Jewish. Like, what are you why are you doing this? Like, but with his story, there was an element of, the Russians were spying on him. Like, there's been proof that they were.
And his mother.
And his mother. They were monitoring.
His mother was the one that taught him how to look out for everything and be aware of things.
Right?
So he got that from her.
Yeah, it's so hard for me to be like, I don't know, was the 1980s, I think I said that the first time, but I'm going to repeat it. Was the 1980s that boring that he had entire crowds of people watching him play chess?
It was a big deal, so yes.
I know it was. If I didn't know it was based on a real story, I'd be like, but it's chess. But like, no, it was. This was a big deal. This was a very
the
big
upper
deal.
echelons of chess are very competitive.
Yeah,
That is, to this day, that is still a thing.
There's a movie called Searching for Bobby Fischer, which is about finding the next Bobby Fischer. Like, now I think he hit a point where he was like, the chess computers have kind of ruined
also,
it.
According to this, that worldwide, the culminating chess one wasn't the 80s, it was 1972. So yes, definitely in the 70s they didn't have anything else going on.
I guess, I know. And we can listen to the radio. But you can find YouTube videos of that chess match, and it is kind of interesting to watch if you like chess. He was crazy. Like, he was nuts. He was crazy good at that sport. Sport? Is it a sport? I don't know if it's a sport. Game.
Sport.
Competition.
Competition.
But yeah, no, it's. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard for me because I was like.
Competition feels like a nice, safe middle ground.
Yes, and Tobey Maguire is good in it. He's good. I love all the little freakouts. He's really good at freaking out. That was today, Carmine. Today. It's my favorite one. It's the meme, Jordan. It's the meme.
If you know anything about chess, then it's an impressive. He's impressive. It's an impressive thing.
I think this reminded me a lot of, if I can recall, a lot of that Marty Supreme, where it's like, it turns out that like when you can't see every angle of the board, watching chess in a movie cinematically is not all that interesting. Like, it's not like basketball or hockey or soccer or any sport where, like, we can make this cinematic and visually interesting. So you don't really get to see him play chess a lot in this movie because I guess it's not really the point. But there's not a lot of, like...
Yeah, well, the point of this is more about the psychological effects that it's having on him and less about the game itself.
Yeah. True.
But,
True.
Overall, not bad. I mean, it's a little dry.
It's a little dry. Yeah, I do remember it being a little dry.
At least I can remember it.
It's true. That is true.
That's it. That's Pawn Sacrifice.
My final thing, Jordan. I watched this morning, and I'm not going to lie to you. It completely caught me off guard. I was legitimately surprised by how much I liked The Brady Bunch movie. The Brady Bunch movie. Do you not know who the Brady Bunch are?
I mean, of course I do, but I've never seen this movie, so what reaction are you expecting to elicit from me?
I just
I
figured.
know of them, but I've never seen their show, nor have I watched any of their movies. I just know that they're weirdly incestual.
Not really. But okay.
I just know, no, that's the thing, that's the meme, that's the thing that everybody always pokes fun of is the two siblings. I don't remember
Oh no,
which two it is.
you're thinking of the Osmonds. That's who you're thinking of.
No, I'm thinking of the Brady Bunch because two of the siblings were dating off screen.
Oh, fair enough. I cannot confirm as to whether or not that's. But anyway,
Hold on, you keep talking and I'm gonna give you the exact.
the connection to Spider-Man. You're probably like, what's the connection to Spider-Man, Justin, of the Brady Bunch? Question Jordan's asking. So in the movie, not in the original show, but in the movie, Greg Brady is played by Christopher Daniel Barnes, who is the voice of 90s Spider-Man and Spider-Man Noir, and I think and Prince Eric as well. He's also Prince Eric. Did you find
Yeah, this is what it is. The primary on-screen Brady Bunch pair who dated in real life were Barry Williams, Greg, and Maureen McCormick, Marcia,
Marsha.
alongside brief romantic pursuits between Christopher Knight, Peter, and Eve Plum, Jan.
That's weird.
And so on camera turn real life romances. So whenever the actors, the four actors were with the people that they were respectively into, apparently it came across like they would give each other the fuck me eyes.
That's weird.
That's not what it officially says, but that's essentially like it was the equivalent of like how it was weird in Life with Derek with Casey and Derek
Anyway.
because their real life actors were dating and
Anyway, the connection to Spider-Man is that yes, Christopher Daniel Barnes who plays Spider-Man in the 90s series, and Prince Eric in The Little Mermaid, and Spider-Noir in that one Spider-Man video game, is Greg Brady. And the wild part of this is he made this. This is quite a successful movie, and he made this while he was making Spider-Man. So like, can you imagine going to watch the Brady? Because like when I was watching this, I was thinking like, no kid today would know who the Brady Bunch is. Certainly, no youth today would know who the Brady Bunch is. No
I
one
barely know who they are.
Right, we're in our 30s and we barely know who they are. But in the 90s, they would have been contemporary. They would have been contemporary.
Like,
in
the only
way
reason
that, like,
anyone knows who they are, the only reason why I know who they are is because things like Robot Chicken make fun of them.
But they would have been contemporary. So this movie came out in 1995, and they would have been contemporary in the way that Friends
70s, 80s.
The Brady Bunch came out in the 70s. This movie came out in 1995. So in the 90s, the Brady Bunch would be contemporary in the way that Friends is for us now. It would have been like, or like the 8 Simple Rules, like a sitcom from the 90s, Frasier or Cheers. It would have been like that. So it's one of those things where people would have known about it, but not necessarily have watched it. But they would know who the Brady Bunch is. And this movie is clever because it takes the Brady Bunch and they are very much still stuck in the 1970s, and they act as though they're on the 1970s sitcom still. And it's really weird because Greg Brady sounds like Spider-Man. It's very strange. It's very fucking weird. So they do all these jokes from like what that you would do on the 1970s sitcom. And like every Brady, every time they say their line, they pause for laughter. Every single line.
Funny.
It's so fucking funny. It's so, and like they act like they're like a conservative family from like the 1970s. So the plot of this, like it's like the plot of this is like 5 different episode plots all kind of mashed into one. So like the main one is kind of that their house, the neighbor is played by Chuck from Better Call Saul. He wants to buy up all the real estate in the neighborhood, so he's trying to get Greg Brady's house. But Greg Brady is an architect who's built his house, so he doesn't want to sell. But in the meantime, he has received a bill for $20,000 to collect taxes, and if they don't get the $20,000 by the end of the week, their house will go up for auction. You know, typical plot of an episode of the show. And there's a really funny moment where he keeps trying to sell architecture, like buildings, to customers, and all of his designs are like old fashioned from like the 1970s, and he eventually manages to sell one, and they think he saved the day. It's like, come on kids, let's go to Sears to celebrate. And then the next scene is just a musical number in Sears. Like they're just we're going out today. They're just dancing around Sears. It's so funny. There's a bit where it's basically like,
sounds like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Kind of, yeah. There's this bit where they're like, the whole bit is they're characters from the 1970s and they're trapped. They're now in the 1990s. So everyone around them is like
Thinks
cynical.
they're weird.
Thinks they're weird. Yeah, that it's cynical and it's really funny because like their conservative attitudes are presented as being weird. So like there's a point where like one of the guys takes Mark, because the whole gag is Marsha's the hot one. Everyone loves her and Marsha is the one that Marsha's the hot one, and Jan is the unattractive one. That's the joke. And so there's this really funny running gag where Jan, and I don't know if it comes from the original show or not, but Jan has a voiceover where it's like she has psycho voices that are constantly telling her to do stuff to, like, so she has like she's constantly jealous of Marsha. So there's a point where she has like a dream of her like cutting off her hair like a psycho. But there's a point
Sounds like totally sane behavior. What are you talking about?
There's a point where Marsha, she's into
totally stable.
The popular guy, and the popular guy tries to take her up to make out point and have sex with her. And she's like, whoa, he has her arm around her. He's like, whoa, man, we've gotten to second. We're on third base already. And he tries to hook up with her, and she refuses to. And it's funny because like every character that's adjacent to the Bradys starts to act like a character from a 1970s sitcom. And it's really funny how they start to be like, jolly wee jillikers. And it's like the kind of there's a really funny
They're
bit.
like a virus.
There's a funny bit where like it's like a father's knows best thing. So the husband's like, you just let me figure it out. And like he has all those. Oh, there's a part where the youngest daughter is trying to tell them something, and he's like, just so you know, when you snitch, you shouldn't tell other people when it's not your business, because when you snitch on other people, you're really snitching on yourself. And I'm like, wow, that's a conservative idea.
Snitches get stitches.
And there's a point at the end where he's doing the end of episode like wrap up monologue or whatever, and the mom keeps going to talk, and he just keeps cutting her off. She keeps to open her mouth to say something. He's like, and he just keeps talking. Super
And
funny.
then we
Super funny. And then it was the thing that was interesting is that was interesting to me was how people are constantly like, oh, this everything has to be woke stuff is new. It's a new phenomenon. And it's not. Like, this movie came out in 1995, and there's a joke where Greg Brady's like, oh, we're gonna go to history class, and she's like, I think you mean herstory. And the person who says, I think you mean herstory, is not the one that the joke is on in the scene. The joke is on, and there's a couple of points like that. Oh, I wish I could remember the other one, but there's another gag that's like that, where one of the characters is gay. No, that's not it. There's a particular gag where the joke is on the fact that they're conservative. Like the movie, it's so wild that we've hit this cultural point where people are like, oh, everything's woke and PC gone mad or whatever. But here's the Bradys and their presentation of the conservative nuclear family is presented as being weird. I just think that's so interesting. I'm like, that's so fascinating. But yeah, it was very It's
I mean,
it's
yeah,
funny in a way that like
that has everything to do with who currently holds power in the United
right,
States.
right. But it's just it was funny in like you don't need to have. I've never seen an episode of the Brady Bunch in my life, but this made fun of the tropes. I guess I've grown up with enough 1970s sitcoms where I was like, this is funny. This is a culture clash that like this is still relevant. This is still making fun of things that are relevant, and it made me go like, if you could take any sitcom from 20 years ago and do a movie like this, where it takes place in 2026, but they're stuck in the 90s, what would you do? I keep going back to Friends. But that show is kind of that show is kind of timeless. I don't know if that show's stuck in the 90s quite in the way that like the Bradys are stuck in the 70s.
The first one that comes to mind for me is Your Favorite Martian.
Interesting. But your favorite Martian, or you mean My Favorite Martian? Your favorite Martian is
Yeah,
Cartoon
yeah.
Man. That I suppose, but that's a sitcom from the 1950s.
I know, it's the first old timey one.
I could think of lots of
90s
1960s sitcoms that you could totally do that with, but I'm trying to think of like if we shifted
one from the
it.
90s specifically.
What is a sitcom that's like trapped in the 90s
I mean,
in terms of its attitudes?
one of the ones. I don't. To be fair, I didn't watch a lot of sitcoms in the 90s. I was a kid.
Yeah, sure. We watched a lot of 2000 sitcoms.
2000 sitcoms. I mean, I guess you could do Malcolm in the Middle.
I suppose you could.
But
do
they did that.
Yeah, I guess you could do How I Met Your Mother.
But they've done that.
They've done that. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, we've already. Yeah, I guess there's no space in the world for
Arrested
like
Development,
this.
maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. But
The Office.
I was.
But that's kind of timeless, I guess.
Timeless as well. But yeah,
but
I was.
But I
taken
suppose,
aback.
like, yeah, no, the way that you modernize that one is like, you like they're a paper selling company. What would the modern day version of that be?
I suppose, yeah. You would also. This is another one you would like. It's funny. You're like, I've never seen an episode of the Brady Bunch, but it does such a good job of. You understand the tropes of she's the hot older sister. He's that was the other bit that I meant to tell you. I was gonna send you a video of this and I didn't. You recall Johnny Bravo?
Yeah.
There's a point where where Greg Brady, Spider-Man, goes to sell a song to an artist because he plays the guitar. There's 2 musical numbers in this, and they're both really funny. But there's a point where he goes to sell a song to a record producer, and he says, "What's your name?" He goes, "My name is Johnny Bravo."
The reference?
And well, the cartoon came after. So, as near as I can tell, the cartoon is not specifically named after the Brady Bunch because the Johnny Bravo comes from an episode of the Brady Bunch where Greg Brady becomes a musician, and apparently that I watched a TikTok on this or a YouTube short, and apparently that reference is a reference to a band that was contemporary at the time. So the name from the cartoon might have come from that band, or it could be a Brady Bunch reference. I couldn't find any correlating information to suggest one way or the other that it was. But he went, "I'm Johnny Bravo," and I went, "You don't look like Johnny Bravo. Where's your muscles? You don't got any muscles.
You don't got any muscles."
Like, it's just made me laugh because it was like, can you imagine some guy who puts on Spider-Man? Like, why does Spider-Man sound like Greg Brady? But also,
probably,
he did
that
Little
was
Mermaid.
probably one of my dad probably that was his experience because I think he grew up with Brady Bunch.
Yeah,
so
but
when he watched me
he's not the
watching
original
this,
Greg Brady. He only did it for the movie.
Oh, then
Yeah.
never mind then.
Yeah, at the end, they show up and they're like, "Grandma," and the grandma is the original mom. That was pretty funny.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty fun reference. But I wonder, I do wonder if like people watched Spider-Man and went, "Why does Spider-Man sound like Prince Eric?" Because he did Prince Eric in 1989. He did it before Spider-Man, well before Spider-Man. I have to
Could be.
But yeah, I was this was a legit play. I want to watch the sequel. There's at least one more story. There's 2 sequels, but there's at least one direct sequel called A Very Brady Sequel. I want to watch it. I really enjoyed this. This was really funny. Like this was an enjoyable experience.
Would you go back and watch the original show?
Just to see. I know this is Wikipedia described this as loosely based on the show. The thing about it is like, and part of what makes the movie kind of funny is it presents the notion of a mixed family as being abnormal. So you know what the premise of the Brady Bunch is?
Or isn't it basically like with Derek, but like from the 70s, where
More
it's
or
a
less, yeah. It's about a mixed family.
divorced mom, divorced dad, they come together and the kids have to learn how to live together, which
They
is why
apparently,
there's
because it's the 19th.
weird step family insinuations.
No, apparently because it's the 1970s and this is a conservative show. They never say that she's divorced or what happened to the husband. I don't know if they say what happened to his wife, but they never say. Apparently, in one of the spin-offs, there's some loose reference to her being divorced, but they never actually say it on the show. And what was the other thing you said?
The kids giving each other the weird fuck me eyes.
Apparently on the show, they don't call each other step family. Apparently, the dad Brady said that the only step in this family is a step ladder. So they are family. They're not a step family. That is because it's the 1970s and marriage is a big deal back then.
Sure. Okay.
Whatever. But I mean, like the notion,
we all know the truth,
right? To me, it's just like this premise is presenting the idea of two families marrying into each other as weird, but as it's just I for reasons that if you know, you know, not really all that weird for me. So,
well, I mean, nowadays it's fairly common.
It's a fairly normal thing, yeah. So I'm like, the premise, I just don't see how it's really gonna be all that funny. But anyway, that is my last thing in the Spider-Verse. That is the Brady Bunch movie. That is the weirdest entry in the Spider-Verse. Is it the weirdest entry? Jordan, before we move on to your last thing, what was the weirdest entry into the Spider-Verse for mine?
Okay, probably this. I struggle to think of something weirder.
I mean, what about the Dr. Parnassus?
Oh, I already immediately forgot about that. Yeah, probably that.
Is it because of the blackface?
Is it or the other thing?
Is it because of the minor?
I don't want to. Can we stop talking about that one?
So it's definitely that one.
Makes me uncomfortable. My last have seen, and by have seen I mean have not seen, and I still can almost call it a have not seen because I'm aware I watched it, but I cannot remember anything. So have you ever heard of a movie? It came out in 1996. It's called The Rock.
I have heard of The Rock. That's Nicolas Cage and Sean Connery, and they're escaping from Alcatraz. I've seen that movie. I believe it's directed by Michael Bay.
It is directed by Michael Bay, and it does have those people that you said.
I
except I don't think it's so much that they're trying to escape from The Rock. Nicolas Cage is an FBI chemist who's trying to disarm missiles from a rogue force of recon Marines that took control of the former prison Alcatraz Island. And I don't remember how I don't remember how Sean Connery plays into it at all.
That's fair.
That's all I remember of it is it's got a lot of explosions. It's got a lot of Michael Bay-isms.
I recall.
And Nicolas Cage yells a lot.
The Sean Connery is the expert who Nicolas Cage goes to help him do something without. I've seen this movie. I could not tell you a thing about it.
I could believe that.
It's
like I said,
one of those movies people try to convince me that it's good, and I'm like, I've seen it once, and I don't remember anything about it.
Also, Ed Harris is there.
So what?
I said, also Ed Harris is there.
Yes. It's just one of those ones where people are like, yeah, Alcatraz, The Rock. That movie's unrealistic because you couldn't do that.
You know Ed Harris. He's from National Treasure 2.
I do know Ed Harris. He's in other things I've seen as well.
Yeah, like I said, I don't have a lot to say about this one. Had a budget of $75 million. It made $335.6 million. Clearly, it was popular. I can't see why for the life of me.
Yeah, it's quite popular. I think it's one of his first movies.
I don't know. All I know is that I was gonna put it on and try and watch it again this morning, and I just couldn't. I just didn't have the strength.
I know. Again, I know I've seen it. I don't remember being all that enthused by it. I really don't.
Connery is a former SAS captain.
Yes,
that's what he is.
He's the grumpy veteran that young upstart Nicolas Cage has to team up with so that they can save the day, and they will ultimately become friends by the end of the movie.
Respectful allies.
Okay.
Is what they'll become.
I mean.
Yeah, that's it. I don't have anything else to say about this one.
Jordan. What was the word?
That's
I,
Spiderman. Also, in case those who didn't pick up on this clever fact, the connective thread is Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage. Jordan, I need to look at your list again to determine what is the weirdest one you watched. I have to pull. I'm pulling up your list, Jordan.
Checking it twice. Gonna find out who's naughty or nice.
I'm pulling it up.
Santa Claus.
I'm gonna say Pawn Sacrifice, Jordan, even though it's probably Cats and Dogs.
The weirdest?
I'm gonna say that.
Hold on.
It says Pawn Sacrifice.
Let me
Even
bring
though
up
it's
my
probably
list.
Cats and Dogs. Jordan, you don't get to choose. You don't get to choose.
No,
what
I know,
say
but
is the weirdest.
I need to. I need to see what your options are to see if I agree with your assessment.
I don't.
Refresh myself.
You don't get to choose. I choose, and I think Tobey Maguire playing chess is weird. Jordan, that's it. That's the end of the Spider-Verse. We could come back to this one day. We might.
In terms of weird, I probably would have said either Chaos Walking or Deconstructing Harry for weird.
Oh no! Sorry, I forgot. Deconstructing Harry is a Woody Allen movie. Shit. No, it's definitely Deconstructing Harry because Woody Allen sucks and his movies are bad.
Yeah.
You cannot convince me that his movies are good. His movies are bad, and also he did illegal, uncool things with his daughter. He's bad. His movies are bad. He sucks. His movies suck. It's the Woody Allen one. I forgot. See, much like Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, Jordan, I put the Woody Allen one out of my brain because I hate Woody Allen. Jordan,
That's the proper response, I'm sure.
Next week was going to be DC, but Jordan made a valid point earlier in the week when he said that, Justin, I'm kind of sick of superhero stuff. And I said, that's correct, Jordan. This is a very real conversation that we had that I'm not just making up right now.
I definitely didn't just say, Justin, regardless of whatever topic you choose, I have one particular movie I'm definitely going to pick no matter what.
And there's some stuff I want to watch that I need to catch up on. And so we're doing mostly a free choice next week. And Jordan has to watch the Avatar movie. Jordan has to watch.
Is going to, whether you want me to or not.
Jordan, when you make your list, the first three things should be the things. So then we could just knock them out of the way. But it's the Avatar movie, it's the season 2 of King of the Hill, and it's the first 3 episodes of Stewart Fails to Save the Universe because the 3rd episode should be out by Thursday. It's those 3 things, and then whatever else the fuck you want. Just the one rule this time is no repeats. That's the one rule. That's the one challenge. No repeats. No repeats from previous episodes. It's got to be a whole new, fresh batch of shit.
I mean, that goes for you too.
Already made my list. I'll check.
Yeah, well, there better be no fucking repeats then.
I'm pretty sure there isn't. Hold on, let me check. You know what? I'll check.
No, you can check after.
I'll check after.
So this episode was brought to you by me, everybody. I was here.
Jordan.
Justin was here. Where can they find you, Justin?
Jordan, where can they find you, Jordan?
They can find me every Monday. I do Minecraft Monday on my Twitch, Zcore187, and then I'm also here on this podcast, the Spur of the Moment podcast. Tell them all the wonderful places they can find you, Justin, us, and the show, and everything.
Dang it! There is a repeat. Dang it! I have to swap that out. That's fine. Train of thought. Hold on. It's coming back to
you're
me.
on.
I'm on TikTok. You can find me on TikTok, Justin Spur. You can find the Spur of the Moment P on TikTok. There's a Patreon. You could join if you would like. You could follow us on Discord, but nobody's on Discord anymore. Nobody uses Discord, but you can follow us there. Subscribe. Watch time. Go back and watch. Oh yeah, that's right. The boxes have popped up. Last week's episode. It's part 1 of Spiderman with Jake. He was here. That's on the left. Random video that YouTube thinks you're going to enjoy on the right. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. We put new videos out 7 days a week. That's every single day. That's shorts. That's videos. There's always content. It's always coming. Next week, mostly a free choice. King of the Hill. Look forward to that. See you next week. Bye. Bye.